A service of KIBMradio.com, the Internet's home for an all old-time radio.
The National Broadcasting Company presents Radio City Playhouse, Attraction 65. Ladies and gentlemen, here is the director of Radio City Playhouse, Perry W. Junkin.
Thank you, Fred, and welcome everyone to Radio City Playhouse. If, when discussing plots, you asked 100 people what they considered the ideal elements of a good story, you'd probably get 100 different answers, because story preferences are at best a matter of personal taste. However, every so often, all of us connected with Radio City Playhouse get an irresistible hankering after a smooth, restrained, but still slightly swashbuckling murder mystery. So this is what we are bringing you today. Here is David Gothard as Walter Kenyon in The WIne of Ora Paula, Attraction 65 on Radio City Playhouse.
It's taken me a long time, but at last I'm sitting at Christopher Faber's desk. The chair seems to fit me almost as though it were made to order. For 15 years I've wanted to sit in this chair in this office. Now it's mine. The power, the position, everything. And Christopher Faber is dead. I remember the morning the idea came to me. I was waiting in Mr. Faber's outer office for our regular 11 o'clock conference. Every morning at 11 o'clock, Mr. Faber condescended to talk to me. No other member of the staff ever spoke to him, except his secretary, Miss Hilden. What's the great man doing, Miss Hilden?
I imagine he'll buzz when he's ready.
And all the little slaves will come around.
You don't like him, do you, Mr. Kenyon?
Does anybody
I do.
honestly like him?
Yes.
He's affected, malicious, insincere, and a snob.
And a genius.
Genius is a very loosely used word, Miss Hilden.
Don't you think it's dangerous to talk like this to me?
Feel in a tattletale mood?
I am his private secretary. I consider it my duty to inform him on, shall we say, the attitude of the staff.
And you can also tell him that I consider any man who imports Spanish brandy and specially ground coffee to drink at 11 o'clock every morning is a fool. Well, shall I go on?
Suit yourself.
Well, you can also tell him that everybody on the staff hates his insides, including me.
If you're so unhappy here, Mr. Kenyon, why don't you quit?
Because I've put 15 years of hard work into this magazine, and not even Christopher Faber can make me give that up.
Don't be too sure, Mr. Kenyon. And he's made a success of the magazine.
The magazine was a success long before Faber ever got here, because a lot of us gave our lives to making it a success. I started as a kid just out of college. I had the rather naive notion that someday I'd be top man.
There's the top man, Mr. Kenyon. And if I were you, I wouldn't forget it. Yes, Mr. Faber?
I'll see Kenyon now.
Like to go a-running, Mr. Kenyon?
And right on the dot of 11, too. Isn't it dramatic? Well, good morning, Mr. Faber.
Good morning, Kenyon.
I heard from the Crocker Pathological Foundation. They...
Hand me the brandy glass. Thank you.
And they'd be happy to have us do a story.
Naturally. Why wouldn't they be happy?
So I was thinking that Donaldson would...
Magnificent brandy, Kenyon. Superb bouquet. Very rare, too. Very little of it in the world. El vino del Ora Paula. Or do you understand Spanish?
As a matter of fact, I speak 3 languages.
I've never heard you say anything important in any of them. Superb flavor.
I was thinking that Donaldson would do well on the foundation
You know,
story.
Kenyon, wine is very much like life. The epicure drinks only so much from the cask, delicately savoring the bouquet, the zest. The fool drinks it all, even to the dregs, to ultimate bitterness.
Yes, sir.
You were saying...
About a writer to handle the Crocker Foundation story. I was thinking...
Indeed. I irritate you, don't I, Kenyon?
No, Mr. Faber. I understand you.
You do, eh? No, Kenyon, you understand your $30,000 a year salary. But go on. Donaldson, yes, Donaldson. I hardly think he has the scientific background for a story about disease and viruses. It's a complicated subject.
Yes, sir, I know,
You
but
don't know. You wouldn't have suggested Donaldson. The Crocker Foundation is dealing with the elemental stuff of life itself. The subject is complex and dramatic. Send Paul Denning.
Yes, I thought of Denning, too, but we've been working him rather hard lately. He isn't in the best of health, you know. His nerves were pretty well shot during the war.
I'm not in the best of health either, but I'm at my desk every day.
From 11 to 2.
I'll overlook that. Send Denning.
I promised him 2 weeks off. He's just been married. He didn't have a honeymoon, so I gave him his vacation now.
And cancel it.
I hardly like to do that.
We're still paying him his salary, are we not?
Yes.
Then send him.
Yes, sir.
Oh, Kenyon. You've just been married, you say?
Yes?
What unfortunate young woman married Paul Denning?
A girl he met in Paris, a singer. She's French.
Since he's from Paris, that isn't unusual. What sort of a singer?
I don't know quite. She's from the Opera Comique.
Oh, her name, man. I was music critic for Le Figaro in Paris. What's her name?
Claire Boudet.
Oh, Boudet. Claire Boudet. I remember. I knew a lot of Opera Comique people. Now, what are you staring at?
I just had an idea.
Oh, was it painful?
That perhaps you'd like to meet her. Supposing I arranged a little dinner.
You're joking.
Just Paul and his wife and you and I.
You think you could stand to spend an evening with me, socially?
It wouldn't have to be a very long evening.
Touché. Well, I suppose I might as well, but don't harbor the notion that a dinner party will get Paul Denning taken off the Crocker assignment. Tell him to be ready to leave on Sunday. Those are orders.
Orders. Always it was orders. For years, I'd put up with his incredible rudeness. His talk about art and wines and music. The connoisseur, the dilettante, the snob. Yes, I'd carry out his orders. But this time, I'd had an idea. Just the glimmering of an idea, but it would do no harm to try. I would assign Paul Denning to the foundation story, but I'd wait until after the dinner party. Faber knew Claire Baudet. She'd told me that. Perhaps they might renew their acquaintanceship with Paul looking on. That would be at least a start.
Monsieur Faber, c'est charmant, charmant. Vous êtes un homme magnifique.
Un homme n'est pas homme jusqu'à ce qu'il soit plein d'âge et de raison.
Vous avez raison, mais je ne vous dirai pas vieux.
Oh, merci.
Claire, will you talk English, please?
Oh, Paula, I'm so sorry. We did not mean to leave you out of our little joke.
Of course we didn't.
It's just so long since I speak French with anybody. I did not mean to be unkind.
Of course you didn't, Paul. How would you feel if you were in Paris speaking French all the time and you suddenly met someone who spoke English?
I'm sorry, forget it.
Don't you speak any French, Paul?
No, I don't.
You must get weary speaking English all the time, Mrs. Denning.
Oh, it's just that all the time I have to think so hard. In French, I converse. In English, I just talk.
Besides, French is a much more beautiful language.
English suits me fine.
Mrs. Denning, has Paris changed much since the war?
Paris never changes, Monsieur Faber.
No, it's eternal, isn't it? The little cafe on l'avenue de l'Opéra, le Café Impérial. You remember it, Mrs. Denning?
Ah oui, l'Impérial. But that is where we met, Monsieur Faber. It is still there.
Is it indeed? I always picture it on a spring day. Chestnut trees in blossom, sunshine splashing the pavements, the sky blue as it's possible to be. Wouldn't it be wonderful if one could go back to springtime?
Come in. Oh, hello, Paul.
Good morning, Walter. I'm sorry I'm late, but Claire and I are getting ready to leave for the country.
Sit down, Paul.
Thanks. A swell dinner last night.
Did you enjoy it?
Do we ever enjoy our managing editor? Oh, Lord, how I hate that man.
You're going to hate him more, I'm afraid.
Oh? Why?
Your vacation's been canceled.
Canceled?
Postponed, then.
Well, who says so?
Mr. Faber says so.
But Claire and I were going away. We didn't have a honeymoon, and you promised me 2 weeks ages
I know,
ago.
Paul, and I'm sorry. I'm terribly sorry. Believe me. It's the Crocker Foundation story, the German virus stuff. Faber wants you to write it.
But you said you were sending Donaldson.
Faber prefers you. He gave me definite orders. I tried to talk him out of it, but he was adamant. You're to do it.
I won't. I won't do it.
Paul, I haven't much time. You know what he's like. He wants you to do the story. You either do it or you quit. Now, which is it to be?
But it's such a lousy trick. We've made all our plans.
Which is it to be, Paul?
When did he decide this?
Oh, well, I'm not enough of a psychologist to know when he makes his decisions. Maybe it was at dinner last night. I don't know. He said he was impressed with your grasp of the subject, said you seemed to be very well informed.
On what?
On disease and drugs and viruses and so forth.
Last night? The subject didn't even come up. Faber was so busy talking French to Claire, he didn't make a direct remark to me all evening.
Oh, Paul, surely you're not jealous of Faber.
Why? Should I be jealous?
But the things he said to Claire were very innocent, really.
What things?
Oh, yes, you don't understand French, do you? Well, now, look, Paul, I know it's disappointing, and believe me, I'm sorry, but you can go on your vacation the moment you finish the Crocker story. It shouldn't take you more than 8 or 10 days.
When am I supposed to leave?
Tomorrow.
Tomorrow? Is he crazy? I've got to work on some background material. I don't know enough about pathology to go up there just...
Paul, Faber says you leave tomorrow. Look, Paul, if you feel that... Well, why don't you take Claire with you?
Why do you say it like that?
Well, since you planned a vacation, I thought maybe you'd like to take her along.
Will Faber okay the expense?
I'll guarantee it. Now, you go home and get ready. And whatever you do, be out of town by noon tomorrow. Yes?
It's 11 o'clock, Mr. Kenyon, and you know who's waiting.
All right. I'll ask him about your taking Claire. I know it'll be all right. Now go home and relax.
Since when, Kenyon, have you taken it upon yourself to subvert the policies of this publication?
I wasn't aware that Denning taking his wife along was covered by a definite policy.
Well, Mrs. Denning is rather distracting, Kenyon. I don't approve of writers taking their families with them on an assignment. It interferes with their work.
I'm afraid I told him he could take her.
Then untell him. That's an order.
Yes, Mr. Faber.
Oh, Paul, you will never get that suitcase closed. She's too full up.
Your husband, madam, can do anything. Now watch. Oh, great. See if you can't take some of this stuff out, huh? Hello?
Hello, Paul.
Hello, Walter.
I'm glad I got you before you left. I'm afraid I have some bad news.
Now what?
You can't take Claire.
What?
Faber blew up. Says she's too distracting.
But, Walter, we're all packed. We've been looking forward to it. You suggested it yourself.
I know I did. I didn't dream he'd object. I'm sorry, Paul, really I am, but Claire can't go. Those are his orders.
Someday I'm going to kill that guy.
Not a bad idea. Look, call her up every night. I'll okay the long-distance charges. And I'm sorry, Paul.
All right, Walter. Well, that's that.
What is it?
Faber says you can't go.
cannot go. I don't understand.
You can't come with me on the trip. You've got to stay here. Faber says so.
Then I will stay here.
Is that all you've got to say?
If I have to stay here, I will stay.
You don't sound very disappointed.
If Monsieur Faber say non, eh bien, is non.
Yeah. Claire, how well did you know Christopher Faber in Paris?
I suppose you would say he was an acquaintance. Why?
You used to meet him at some cafe, didn't you?
I met him once, that is all. I was with a friend. She told me he was a man I should know, the music critic of Le Figaro. She introduced us.
And after that?
After?
Oh, stop pretending, Claire. After the first time, did you see him again?
Paul, what is the matter with you?
It's very strange that after meeting you again at dinner the other night, Faber should be so anxious to get me out of town. It's also very strange that he should suddenly decide you're not to go with me.
Oh, Paul, surely you do not think that... Paul, I was 20, just starting in the theater, and nobody. Christopher Faber was an important critic. He was never interested in me. Oh, Paul, you know that is true. Darling, you're jealous without the tiniest cause. Really you are. But that's all right. Keep on being a little jealous. I like it.
It was very easy to keep Paul Denning out of town. There were always delays and corrections, and I blamed them all on Faber. Rewrites, more pictures, more data, check this. It was very easy. I kept him there as long as I could. And then, one night my phone rang. It was Paul. He was beginning to break.
Well, I'm not going to put up with it any longer.
Paul, it isn't my fault. He's been a fiend lately, unbearable.
But 3 rewrites? What am I, a kid? Is he crazy?
It's tough, Paul, I know, but if you have dinner with Dr. Langdon tomorrow night, maybe you can finish up by the middle of next week. Langdon should be of a lot of help.
Yeah, sure. Well, thanks for setting up Langdon for me. I've been trying to reach him.
Well, is that everything?
Walt.
Yes?
Is Claire seeing Faber?
Oh, Paul, don't pay any attention to rumors.
Are there rumors?
Oh, Paul, please.
Well, is he seeing her?
Well, why don't you ask Claire? You phone her every night.
I did ask her.
And what did she say?
She said no. What would you expect her to say?
But it isn't anything serious, Paul, believe me. If he is seeing Claire, I know there's nothing to it. He's just fond of, Paris and all that.
Listen, Walt. As soon as I'm through this dinner with Langdon tomorrow night, I'm driving to New York.
Now, Paul, listen.
I'm sorry. I've got to see Claire.
Hello? Hello? The plan was beginning to move. There were elements of luck in it, but Paul was unstable and jealous and married to a very beautiful woman whom he didn't quite trust. Yes, Paul could be depended upon to react violently. There were other things that had to fit into place, too. First, Faber had to stay home tomorrow night. This I took a chance on. He stayed in 9 nights out of 10 because of his health. Second, Paul mustn't arrive in the city until well after midnight. His dinner date could reasonably be expected to last until 7:30 or 8. It was at least a 5-hour drive home. That made it 1 o'clock. If Paul arrived in New York by 2 o'clock, things would work fine. I had no difficulty in getting Claire to have dinner with me. The luck part was that she decided to stay in town and not go home at all.
Oh, c'est merveilleux, magnifique. So gay, like Paris.
I'm glad you're enjoying it.
Oh, for 3 weeks at home every night and Paul away. Will he be home soon?
I hope so.
He will phone tonight and wonder where I am.
Well, he'll phone again tomorrow night.
Yes. Oh, Walter, I'm having such a wonderful evening. I'm never going home again.
On the contrary, you're going to be in Penn Station in exactly 20 minutes.
2:30. C'est impossible.
Your last train home leaves in 25 minutes.
Oh, no, this commuting. How I hate it.
That's what you get for living in the country.
Attends, j'ai une idée. I have a friend, Marie Deslauriers. Often she has asked me to stay all night in town with her. Tonight I will go. Oh, I cannot bear 30 minutes on that horrible train after all this champagne. I will telephone Marie. She will be enchantée.
I hadn't expected that she'd stay out all night. Now it was perfect. It was 4 o'clock when I let her out at her friend's house. By 4:20, I was home and in bed. I just made it. At 4:30, there was a frantic ringing at the door. All right, I'm coming. Paul, do you want to wake everybody in the building?
Where is she?
What's the matter? Come in, man.
Where is she?
Where's who?
Claire.
Well, how should I know?
All the way in, I've been phoning. I stopped at every town and called her. She's been out all evening. I called Faber, too. He said she wasn't there.
Oh?
He sounded kind of funny. Is she out there with him?
Paul, go home.
I've been home. She's not there. That's the first place I went.
Well, as a matter of fact, she spent the evening with me.
When did that occur to you?
It's true, honestly. We went to dinner and the theater. It got pretty late, and we were having such a good time, she decided to stay in town with a friend. Some woman with a French name. Oh, now, Paul, don't look like that. I'm not covering for Faber.
He's got you where he's got the rest of us. Hypnotized. You not only worked for him, you lie for him.
Now, look, Paul.
If Claire's out there with him, I'll kill him.
Then go ahead, kill him. But stop yelling at me. It's not my fault if Claire prefers Faber to you. If you think they're having an affair, go out and settle it with Faber. But get out of here and leave me alone. There was a wonderful frenzied jealousy in his eyes. His hands were shaking. His face was white. After he'd left, I sat there alone and willed for him to go out to Christopher Faber's and kill him. Faber would be contemptuous and insulting. Paul was half crazy with jealousy and hate. Put them all together, and I was pretty sure that what did happen would happen.
I can't believe it.
Oh, now let's not have any tears, Miss Hilton. All the tears in the world will not bring Mr. Faber back to life.
I just can't believe it.
How did you find out?
His houseboy phoned as soon as I got to work. He was shot through the heart. They've called the police.
Have they any idea how it happened?
I don't know. The houseboy was hysterical. Mr. Critchfield's been on the phone like fury. The whole place is in an uproar.
It's quiet enough in here.
His office is always quiet. He ran it that way. Smoothly.
You liked him, didn't you?
He was a genius.
Yes, I suppose he was in his own way.
The magazine will suffer.
The magazine won't suffer.
Oh? I suppose you're taking over.
Miss Hilden, I have taken over. Hand me the brandy glass.
No, they're his. Everything in this office is his.
The brandy glass, Miss Hilden. From now on, I'll be indulging in the 11 o'clock ceremony. The brandy glass, Miss Hilden. Thank you. Such bouquet. El vino del Ora Paula. Delicious. Order me 5 cases, Miss Hilden. You know where he gets it.
Grabbing at everything even before he's cold, aren't you, Mr. Kenyon?
Why not? It's mine now.
It'll never be yours. You can drink his brandy and strut around his office, but you'll never be the man he was. Never.
Oh, delicious. Really delicious.
You'll never replace him. Never. You haven't got what it takes. He had this wonderful, studied, conscious arrogance, but underneath there was passion and soul.
Miss Hilden.
Yes?
I dislike you intensely.
Will there be anything else?
You're a thoroughly disgusting woman.
Thank you.
And you're fired, of course.
Of course. Do you want me to leave now?
Let's say 5 o'clock.
All right. Let's.
Are you Mr. Kenyon?
Young man, before you walk into this office, you knock. Supposing you try it again.
I'm sorry. I'm looking for Mr. Kenyon.
I am Mr. Kenyon. If you wish to remain on the staff of this magazine, go outside, close the door, and knock. Then I will see you.
I'm Lieutenant O'Keefe of Homicide. I'm sorry if I'm intruding.
Oh, yes, excuse me. We're all quite upset here. This is Miss Hilton, Lieutenant. She was Mr. Faber's, stenographer.
Miss Hilton?
Lieutenant?
What do you want, Lieutenant?
One of the young ladies outside said that you might be able to give me some information about a Mr. Paul Denning.
Yes. What do you want to know?
Was he on your staff?
He is on our staff.
Huh?
A writer. A very good one, incidentally. Why?
He came into the station half an hour ago, completely hysterical. Said he'd lost his wife and that he'd murdered Christopher Faber.
Murder? Paul Denning?
Go on, Lieutenant.
Paul Denning?
He said he'd killed Faber around 11 this morning. Of course, that's ridiculous because it's only 11:15 now. Faber's been dead about 7 hours. He shot himself around 4 this morning, we think.
Shot himself? Suicide?
Yes, there was a note. Rather poetic, something about life being like wine. Said he'd tasted the bouquet and drained life to the dregs. Oh, sorry, Mr. Kenyon. I know this is painful.
Was there anything else, Lieutenant?
What sort of a job was Denning working on?
Why, he was writing a story on the Crocker Pathological Foundation.
I see.
They've developed some new drugs. They're supposed to be very powerful.
Would they be working with viruses?
Yes, I suppose so.
Well, that checks anyway. He said he'd stolen some kind of virus from this doctor last night. Said he had enough to kill 100 men in a tiny vial. Then he said he'd sneaked in here early this morning.
In here, in this office?
Yes. And put the virus in a bottle of brandy. Is that the bottle of brandy?
You have just heard The Wine of Ora Paula by John Hasty, Attraction 65 on Radio City Playhouse. David Gothard was Walter Kenyon, Louis Van Rooten was Christopher Faber, Alan Stevenson was Paul Denning, Marilyn Erskine, Miss Hilden, Hope Miller was Claire Boudet. The music was composed and conducted by Dr. Roy Shield. The entire production was under the direction of Harry W. Junkin.
This is Harry Junkin again. Next week, a special Christmas show. The charming story by Paul Gallico called "'Twas the Night Before Christmas," all about newspapers and goats and Christmas. We hope you'll join us next week, Attraction 66 on Radio City Playhouse. Good afternoon, everybody.
What's on NBC today? It's the Browning version starring Maurice Evans and Edna Best in their original roles on Theater Guild on the Air tonight on NBC. And then stay tuned for the songs of Thomas L. Thomas, now joining the cast on American Album of Familiar Music. This is Fred Collins speaking. Now stay tuned for James Melton and Harvest of Stars on NBC.
It's Moisturize, the new, all-new Raleigh 903 cigarette. Listen. That jet of fresh, pure moisture stands for the new, different moisturized Raleigh 903. New blend, new taste, new freshness. It's the new, all-new moisturized Raleigh 903. The Raleigh Cigarette Program, starring Red Skelton with David Forrester and his orchestra, our singing star Anita Ellis, Gigi Pearson, Verna Felton, Pat McGee, and Wonderful Smith, and yours truly, Rod O'Connor. pleasure to bring you Metro Golden Mares, popular show-off and the star of the Raleigh cigarette program, Red Scout.
Thank you very much. Al Jolson didn't get a better reception on Amos and Andy tonight. Thank you, and good evening, ladies and gentlemen. 903, Rod.
903, Red.
Hey, aren't you glad you know what 903 means? Huh?
Well, yes, Red, but now that I do, I have nothing to look forward to. No mystery to unravel.
No? You got an option coming up you can worry about it.
Well, Red, I see where your picture of the show-off is open in theaters all over the country. How's the picture doing?
Well, they almost banned it in Boston.
Why?
Well, in one scene, my garter showed. No kidding, the film broke, and they thought that the bare screen was a little too suggestive.
Well, this being the first picture you made since you got out of the Army, what did the bosses at MGM think of your performance?
Well, they like it all right. Marjorie Main thinks I'm another tailor.
Really?
Yeah, she said I ought to go in the suit business. Hey, how'd you like my picture, Anita?
Well, I couldn't enjoy it because some fellow behind me kept whistling and clapping every time you came on the screen.
that's
And I
awful.
finally turned around and hit him over the head with my umbrella.
No kidding, that's awful.
Well, what would you have done?
But I had an umbrella to hit you back.
Oh, I'm sorry, Red. I didn't know it was you. You sure get carried away with your pictures.
Yeah, the ushers carried me out 3 times. You know, you feel awful silly watching yourself on the screen, you know? But it's a lot of fun, though. How else could you eat a bag of popcorn and kiss Marilyn Maxwell at the same time?
What really impressed me about your picture was your serious acting with Jacqueline White.
Oh,
Why, at one point, you made the whole audience cry.
for their money back, huh? Say, did you like my love scene with Marilyn Maxwell? How'd you like that, Clyde?
Well, it was okay in that last scene, but you didn't kiss Maxwell long enough.
Well, I did before they cut it. You know, at the preview, they showed the picture. Our clinch lasted halfway through the newsreel.
Oh, Red, stop kidding.
No kidding. John L. Lewis came in and broke it up.
Listen. That jet of fresh, pure moisture stands for the new, all-new Raleigh 903 cigarette. It's moisturized to stay fresh longer. It's moisturized to taste better. It's moisturized to smoke milder. Yes, this new Raleigh 903 is moisturized by the revolutionary new 903 process. That fresh, clean, beneficial moisture penetrates every leaf, every fiber of Raleigh's choice tobaccos, brings you new mellow taste, new mildness, new freshness. It's the new, all-new Raleigh 903.
And medical science offers you proof positive. No other leading cigarette gives you less nicotine, less throat-irritating tars.
Smokers, smoke this new Raleigh 903. New blend, new freshness, new taste. You'll see the number 903 on the government stamp. This Raleigh 903 is new, all new.
And medical science offers you proof positive. No other leading cigarette gives you less nicotine, less throat-irritating tars.
Smoke the new, all new Raleigh 903. It's moisturized.
And now Anita Ellis will sing the old Rodgers and Hart favorite, Where or When. Sing it good, Jack Kirkwood's listening.
Sometime you think you've lived before all that you live today. Things you do come back to you as though they knew the way. Oh, the tricks your mind can play. It seems we stood and talked like this before. We looked at each other in the same way then, but I can't remember where or when. The clothes you're wearing are the clothes smiling, you were smiling then, but I can't remember where or when. Some things that happen for the first time seem to be happening again. And so it seems that we have met before and loved before and loved before, but who knows where or when.
Ladies and gentlemen, at this time, I would like to take this opportunity to thank Fred Allen for mentioning my name on his program last week. Wasn't that nice? Thank you very much. And now we open the story to the Skeleton Scrapbook of Satire, and it's about department stores tonight.
The department stores of today are confronted with many problems, and to help solve disputes between the customer and salesperson, there is a gentleman known as the floor walker. Chapter 36 introduces our gentleman of diplomacy.
Walk, 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 walk. All day long, just walking around looking at stupid people. People rush around here for things they can't get for people they don't like who don't want them anyway. I don't know how I could stand it if it wasn't that I was full of the old Christmas spirit.
Floor walker?
What's that, Bud?
I say, are you the floor walker?
Who do I look like, Bobby Walker?
Well, I thought you were the floor walker, but that flower in your buttonhole puzzled me. Why do you wear a cauliflower?
I don't. It keeps sliding down from my ear.
My, you're happy.
No, I ain't.
You're whistling?
Yeah, I'm wearing a T-shirt, too, but I ain't drinking tea. I drink that, though. Hey, my name's Willie Lumpup. What can I do for you? I'm the floor walker.
Well, I'm here to do a story for my newspaper, the California Sun.
California Sun?
Comes out once a month.
Yeah.
Tell me, what are some of the duties of a floor walker?
Well, I have to watch to see that the customers are happy, see? And if they're happy, then I know they haven't been buying anything. I gotta watch each department to see that it's kept in order. You know, some pretty embarrassing things can happen. Like yesterday, a little boy stole a sign off the blouse counter, and he put it over in the bathtub this place, see? Mm-hmm. Never so embarrassed in all my life.
Oh, what did the sign say?
See, how would you like to see your best girl in one of these for $1.95?
I see you're wearing a discharge button.
What's that?
I see you're wearing a discharge button.
Yes, sir, boy. During the war, I served in the Army and Navy stores.
Well, do you ever spot any shoplifters and pickpockets?
Yeah, one shoplifter tried to sneak an icebox out of here, but we had it nailed down to the floor, see?
Did he get away with it?
Oh, no. We've always had that hole in the floor. You know, them pickpockets are pretty foxy, too. They'll come up and talk to you for a while, and then before you know it, they got your shirt and pants right off of you. I could never understand. Here, somebody give me a kimono, quick.
Chapter 37, The Impatient Customer.
Hey, what's the main crowd for here?
Soap. They have a limited supply of your favorite soap.
Oh, not mine. I'm beautiful. I'm engaged. I use Dutch cleanser. Why don't they open up the store? Gee, I'm in a hurry. I gotta catch a bus, you know.
They're opening the door now.
Oh.
Attention customers. Please do not rush. There are plenty of sewing machines, ice boxes, radios, and washing machines for everyone. The doors are now opening.
What are you doing?
I'm trying to get my head out of this shopping bag.
I wondered where I got that head of lettuce. Get going, Bob.
Can I help you, sir? Would you be interested in a new suit? What kind would you like? Something expensive or something like you're wearing?
Well, no, I just came in to see...
Well, here's a beautiful imported model. Just run your hand over that herringbone weave.
Oh, okay. Oh,
careful, careful. Oh, here, let me take the bones out of your finger. Now, here, get into this coat.
Look, I don't want a suit. I only want a mousetrap.
Would you like trying the pants?
Well, the way this coat fits, I won't need any pants. Look, I'm in such a hurry. I only came in here for a mousetrap.
Any special kind?
Well, better than what I've got now. The mice are using it for rub down.
Well, that man over there will take care of it.
Okay. Gee, I hope I don't miss my bus. Oh, clerk.
Yes, sir. Excuse me, sir. Hello? Hardware department? No, we don't have any Christmas tree lights. No, we're using candles on the store trees. No, ma'am. No. No danger at all. Now, that talk about candles setting the tree on fire is a lot of baloney. I'll have to hang out now. I've got to go and slice some more bologna.
Look, clerk, have you got any mousetraps?
Oh, yes, sir. Just a second.
Well, what do you mean just a second? I've been... Hurry it up, will you? I got to catch a bus.
Oh, I'm sorry. We ain't got none that big.
Okay.
Chapter 38, The Department Store Janitors.
Yes, sir, here I am, working in the department store and only 7 more mopping days till Christmas. Wish I knew what to get Sarah do for Christmas. Maybe I'll get her a mink coat. I don't know, though. I don't think it would go with her skunk complexion. Let's see, one of them coats that cost about $5,000. I got $3.08 in the bank. Let's see, 3 from 5 would be, no, that'd only leave me $1. Maybe I could get her some nylon stockings. No, they don't sell them in 3, so that'll be all right. No, I wonder what she's going to give me. Last year she gave me a turtleneck sweater. She knows I ain't got no neck. Well, I guess I better get back to work here.
Howdy, Clam.
Well, Sarah, howdy doody to you, too.
Sure nice of you to help me clean the store, Clam. It's certainly good to see you working. You know, I thought you was going to be a bum all your life.
Me, too, but we all slip sometimes. I got my department all cleaned up. I think I'll mosey over and see if Santa Claus is in the toy department yet.
Why, it's too late. And besides, ain't you a little big for that sort of thing?
Well, I don't know. The Easter Bunny never complained. After all, I got to tell him what I want. I don't want to be forgotten like I was last year, you know.
You got something, Clem. Remember the sweater I gave you?
Yeah, but it was too big. That thing really stretched. The longer I wore it, the longer it got. You know?
Oh, no, it really didn't stretch, did it?
Oh, no. I like things flapping around my ankles. It went 3 weeks before I took it out of the box. I better get along here with the cleaning up the store before it opens, Will.
Clem, I think this vacuum cleaner here is broke.
Well, maybe something's caught in the brushes. I'll just stoop down and take a look.
Watch out, Clem. You might get your nose caught.
Just turn the vacuum on. No, it's fine.
Clem, be careful.
Don't forget them 2 ears in the bag belong to me.
So there's another vacuum down in the supply room where they keep the dummy models.
Well, I'll go down and see if I can get the sweeper for you. Do. This must be the room here, window supply room. Awfully sorry, miss. I didn't know you were in there. What she's doing here at this time of the night, huh? Oh, she was kind of pretty, wasn't she? Miss, could I come in and get the vacuum cleaner? Would it be all right if I come in, ma'am? What's the matter? Cat got your tongue? What's the matter? I got you spellbound, huh? Ain't never seen nothing like me before, have you? Oh, now you better stop looking at me like that, because I come from a family of people, boy, that girl looks at a guy like that, kissing is in order. Okay, you're asking for it. Well, there went my garter. This charming lady here.
Oh, Clem, she's not a lady. She's a dummy.
Now, don't get smart alecky. She's a very pretty little woman. I know a dummy when I see one. There's one over there.
Where?
Where I'm pointing.
Well, that's funny. He's pointing back.
Yeah. Besides, I know she ain't a dummy because she just kissed me.
Clem, you're the #1 moron.
Well, then how come they ain't making a movie of my life story, huh?
She ain't real.
Yeah?
Go on, kiss her again.
All right. Boy, her hands sure are cold, ain't they? Well, cold hands, warm heart. I kissed her now. They stayed on that time, didn't they? Now, what's your plan, huh?
No, just kiss me.
Well, let's not get sickening about this.
Kiss me, Clem.
Okay.
Now, Clem, are you convinced? Do you see the difference?
Yes, I do. I'm sorry. I thought you was just jealous for a few minutes. Now, will you please get out of here and let us alone?
Listen. That jet of fresh, pure moisture stands for the new, all-new Raleigh 903 cigarette. It's moisturized to stay fresh longer. It's moisturized to taste better. It's moisturized to smoke milder. Yes, this new moisturized Raleigh 903 is unlike any Raleigh cigarette you've ever smoked before. It's new, all new. New blend, new freshness, new taste. And remember,
medical science offers proof positive. According to tests certified by a jury of 14 doctors, no other leading cigarette gives you less nicotine, less throat-irritating tars.
The new Raleigh 903 is moisturized by the revolutionary new 903 process. That fresh, clean, beneficial moisture penetrates every leaf, every fiber of Raleigh's choice tobaccos. Brings you new mellow taste, new mildness, new freshness.
And medical science offers proof positive. No other leading cigarette gives you less nicotine, less throat-irritating tars.
Smoke the new, all new Raleigh 903. It's moisturized.
David Forrester and his Raleigh Cigarette Orchestra play Embraceable You by George Gershwin.
Chapter 39, Shopping with a Child. This is the story of a certain child in a store, which is worse than a bull in a china shop.
Are you all right, Junior?
Yes, but I don't want to carry these packages anymore. They're too heavy.
Well, it was your idea. You wanted to carry them.
I know it was my idea, but something went wrong. The longer I carried them, the heavier they get.
All right, I'll take the packages.
Okay, put your shopping bag down so I can get out. You've been banging me against the sidewalk too much anyhow.
Well, here, we're going into this department store. No, don't let go of my hand, Junior. I don't want to lose you in here.
You don't?
No. They have a very efficient lost and found department here, and I'd probably get you back.
Oh. You sure does love me, don't you, huh?
Follow me through these revolving doors.
Through the revolving doors?
Junior, you're going out again.
Be right back.
Junior, come out of there.
I heard him getting dizzy. Pull me out the next time around.
No, Junior. Why did you do that?
Oh, boy, I'm getting sick. I like to travel, you know. It's in me blood. I'm sort of a gypsy, you know. Round trips is always cheaper. Yeah, a gypsy, I meant like that.
Oh, heavens, look at this crowd.
Yeah.
Junior, is that you singing?
Yes, it is. I'm happy.
Well, what are you doing?
I won't tell you. I want you to be happy, too.
Now, what have you got in your hand?
Huh?
Let go of it.
Okay. Oh, my leg! Is that all the thanks I get for giving him his garter back?
If I didn't have my hands full of parcels, I'd spank you good.
Well, I'm not going to offer to hold him for you, kiddo.
If you'll be a good boy, I'll buy you a box of mixed nuts.
A big box?
Yes.
Walnuts and pecans?
Yes.
Brazil nuts?
Yes.
And almonds?
Yes, everything they have.
Can't eat them. They get under me upper plate.
Come along. I'll take you to see Santa Claus. Oh, maybe you'll be good then.
Yeah, I'm going to see Santa Claus. Hey, what does I do when he calls me up to him, huh?
Well, you get on his lap.
Yes.
And then you tell him all the good things you've done during the past year.
Oh. In other words, I just sit there and keep my mouth shut, huh? Hey, I wish I could think of something to get for Grandpa, you know.
Oh, I know what, Junior. Your grandfather needs a new hairbrush.
Yeah, you wore his last one out on me. I'm not going to buy a new booby trap for myself.
How about some ties for him?
He wants another tie like I want another whipping. Hey, you know what would be better? Buy him some toys. If you'd lend me the money, I could get him an electric train or a speedboat or some roller skates or skates, you know.
Are you thinking of your grandfather or yourself?
She knows me pretty well, doesn't she? Hey, if you give me some money, and I could do some shopping.
Well, very well. Here's a penny.
A penny? Well, thanks, Sporty. Let's go see Santa Claus. Come on, let's go see Santa.
Yes, we will in just a minute. I want to see if they have any Blood Donner's red lipstick.
Sure.
You stay right here.
Okay, I go next here. Oh, look at that pile of bottles there on the counter. I wonder what's holding them up. I wonder if I took the one off of the bottom, the rest of them would fall. Maybe they would. Then again, maybe they wouldn't. Then again, I didn't know I'm standing here. Maybe you're not going to do this anyhow. Let's see. Now, I'll just pull the one off of the bottom like this. Nope, didn't work. I'll take the one from the middle. Nope. Anybody got a weak heart, you better go out and get a glass of water. Now I'll try the one from the side here. Whoop. Nope, stubborn little rascal. Now I'll try one more.
Don't do it.
What, don't yell, you scared me.
Come on, Junior, we're going home.
No, I want to see Santa Claus. All
right, come on.
No, I'm going to see Santa Claus. Here is where he lives, and here is where he sits, and
He's gone! He's gone!
The sign in front of his chair says Santa's gone away to feed his reindeers. We'll be back tomorrow.
Tomorrow? What, you going to feed him with an eyedropper? I want to see him. No, I want to see Santa Claus. I want to see Santa. Please, Grandma, I want to go.
But he's gone, child. Don't cry.
I want to see him.
It's my fault for sorry.
Yes, it's your fault.
Bless his little heart.
Yeah, bless his little heart. He's around here someplace. I'm going to find him, too.
Junior, come back here.
Maybe he's behind this platform here. He probably saw me coming and ran, and I don't blame him at all, you know. Santa Claus, maybe I'll stick my finger in this little hole. It's a button, maybe, to open up a secret door or something.
No!
The cute lamb. It's like a little boy and it lights up.
I've never been so shocked in all my life. Santa Claus, where is you? This is Junior, the little kid with the atomic background. Dumpy, 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 shiny. Dumpy, 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 shiny. Oh, what's that hanging on the hook there? It couldn't be. Yes, it is, too.
Junior, what are you doing? Now come with me.
No, look, I'm going to look for Santa Claus because he couldn't have gone very far away from here.
What makes you so sure?
Well, because, look, he'd get arrested for running around without any clothes on. Look, his suit's hanging right there on the wall, look. There it is. Oh, maybe this fat man coming has seen him.
Junior!
Hey, Fatso, have you seen Santa Claus around?
Well, well, he was here a few moments ago.
Well, if you see him and you tell him if he wants his red suit, he'll find it over at my house.
Okay, Sonny.
Goodbye.
Hey, little boy, come back here. Good heavens, come back here. Oh, dear. Remember, we'll all be back again next Tuesday at the same time. Until next Tuesday, then.
Red Skull saying goodbye now. Thanks for listening and thanks for buying rolls.
Remember, a Hallmark card will best express your perfect taste, your thoughtfulness. The makers of Hallmark greeting cards bring you the true and inspiring story of a naturalized American in a small Midwestern town. Our star is that fine actor of both Broadway and the films, Otto Kruger. Of a century, quality has been a habit with the makers of Hallmark cards. They have the pride of craftsmen in their name, Hallmark, Hallmark. That's why Hallmark cards are the kind of card you can be proud to send, proud to receive. So when you want to send the very finest, look on the back for those three identifying words, a Hallmark card. Those three words, a Hallmark card, are your assurance of finest quality. They tell your friends you cared enough to send the very best. To be doubly sure, always look on the back of the card you choose for those three identifying words, a Hallmark card. Now to preside over our program this evening, here's our regular master of ceremonies, the young Broadway actor and producer, Richard Calmer.
Thank you, Tom Shirley, and good evening, ladies and gentlemen. When the makers of Hallmark greeting cards invited Otto Kruger to be our guest tonight, they not only selected a fine actor, but they chose a man who loves America as much as any man in the theater. Ohio is Otto Kruger's birthplace, but American style, he traveled the country as lineman, cattle puncher, musician, any odd job that came along. And like Americans, Otto could do a lot of things. For instance, he learned the Morse code. Otto, maybe you'll tell us that story on yourself that appeared in Reader's Digest?
Well, I will, Dick, but only as a grim example. I taught the Morse code to my wife, and one night we were having a dinner party. Well, ever the anxious host, I tapped out a message to her. Have we any more meat? Well, the answer came back promptly, but it came from the guest of honor who tapped out, thanks, we've had plenty.
Yes, Otto Kruger's a man of many talents, so we think he is particularly fitted to play the role of Dimitrik tonight, a little Greek who discovers that his talents what they can do in America. The makers of Hallmark greeting cards, present on the Reader's Digest Radio Edition Otto Kruger in Pete's Thanksgiving. The town where this all happened is called Janesport. Janesport is a typical American Midwestern community, which is to say that its citizens have names like Perkins and Harrison and Taylor and Andrews. One day, when America was in its third day of the war, a man arrived in Janesport, a typical American, which is to say that his name was Pete Dimitri. He'd been born in Greece, his wife's parents had been born in Ireland, and he was here in Janesport to open a little business. He and his wife walked from the depot up the main street until they came upon a merchant sweeping the sidewalk in front of his store. They stopped there.
Excuse me.
Yes? What can I do for you?
We just came here. This is my wife.
How do you do?
Well?
I'm Pete Dimitri. We are going to be in business here on the same street with you.
We're opening up a new restaurant.
Yeah.
Oh, I've heard of you.
Good. And we hope to be friends with you and all the other merchants.
I see. Well, time will tell. Excuse me now. I have work to do. Operator, 532, please. Hello? Harry? This is Perkins. Harry, I've just met the people that are going to open the restaurant. Yes. Yes, Harry. Yeah? Maybe all right, but they are foreigners, Harry. And you know if we let one in, there'll soon be a little jabbering colony right here in our midst.
Pete? Oh, Pete?
Yeah? What is it, Anna?
Lunch is ready.
Just 1 minute.
Oh, look, soup. Soup is good, huh?
Oh, I wish I could get carpenters to make that counter for you.
Yeah, and I. But all the carpenters in this town say they are busy.
They don't seem busy.
No. Huh? No, that's strange, is it not, Anna?
Yeah, very strange.
Oh, well, it does not matter. Our plans, Anna, our plans are coming through. yeah, that's got a good soup. And you know, for 20 years in this country, I have wanted a business of my own. Now I will have one. And for you, Anna, and for another thing also.
You mean so that you can feel a part of this country?
No. I feel part of this country already. I'm here for a long time. I have the citizenship. But I want to be like other Americans who save and who make their own business. I always wanted my business to be a restaurant. You know why, Anna?
Why, dear?
Because America always means the country where nobody starves. And I want to be one of those who feed the people in the country where nobody starves.
I hope we'll do all right here, Pete. I hope we won't starve.
Oh, of course not.
Well, the people here aren't friendly.
Oh, well, they wait. They want to know us first.
The trouble is, they don't seem to want to know us at all.
Oh, that is foolish, my Anna. This is America where everyone is always a welcome. I don't have to worry about the people, but they will like us when they finally are honest. They're just waiting to see.
Well, maybe.
Yes. Oh, no. I'm happy here. All what we have wanted, we shall have in Janesport, Anna. Yeah. If only now the Red Cross would let me know that my dear grandmother in Greece is safe. My cup would be full.
Oh, I hope you're right. Well, we'll find out when we open the restaurant.
Yes, and that will be soon, before Thanksgiving, I think. And if I can get the plumbers to do the plumbing work soon.
If you can. Yes, Pete. If.
Well, I'll tell you now, Mr. Whatever your last name is. Every one of us plumbers is pretty busy.
But for 3 weeks I've been trying.
Yeah, for 3 weeks, I know. And maybe it'll be 3 weeks longer, maybe 3 months longer. There's a lot of other folks need plumbing work done. Folks we know. Folks who've always lived here. Folks we've done business with before. Our own kind of folks, if you see what I mean.
my honor. I'm happy you've come.
Pete, there's something that
Look, my honor. Look, see what I've been able to do myself. See this counter, huh?
Well, it's good, Pete. Well, I didn't know you could do things like that.
I didn't know it either until I had to. I had to find out how. You know something, Anna, the best thing.
What?
The plumbing. I have done the plumbing myself.
No.
Yes. And I feel more like American than ever before. You know, Americans have all the skill with the tools. And I have learned that skill, too, now. Huh?
Pete, you're wonderful.
Come here. Yeah. You know, Anna, dear, I've always loved you. You've been so patient and loving. You'll not mind that I speak for you.
Oh, Pete, don't be silly.
No. Anna, you're good woman. Now I can maybe be good husband for you. We open the restaurant on Thanksgiving Day.
No.
Yes. And before that, I'm going to make a speech.
Where?
The Businessmen's Club of Gensport. I go there to their meeting to announce my opening.
Pete, they may be cruel to you.
What? No, this is America, where people like to see men start their own little business. No. I shall make the speech. And you, Anna, you shall help me fix it, huh?
Well, all right.
Sure. Now let us have lunch, huh?
It's not time for lunch, Pete.
No time for... I lose track working this way. Well, if it's not time for lunch, why do you come?
Why did I come? I've got a letter for you, Pete.
You got a letter?
Yes.
For me, a letter, huh?
Yes. Here it is. Pete, it's from the Red Cross.
Oh.
It must be about your grandmother.
Yeah. All these months I have waited. Yeah.
Open it, Pete.
No, yes. Oh.
What is it, Pete?
Oh.
Pete, what does it say?
Oh. So.
What are you doing, Pete?
I burned this letter.
What is it, Pete? What does it say?
I will not tell you what it says, Anna. You would only be sorry that you know.
Meeting, the Jamesport Businessmen's Club will please come to order.
Oh, wait a minute, Mr. Chairman.
What is it, George?
Before we start the meeting, that Greek's outside.
Who's he doing? You mean Jimmy Chippy Paula Papa? That's a restaurant, fella?
That's right.
Yes. What does he want?
Says he wants to speak to us.
Well, do we want to listen to him?
No.
All right, order. Take a vote on it.
We don't need to take a vote, Perkins. We have to listen to him.
Why?
It's in the bylaws. We have to listen to any citizen of Janesport wants a hearing. That's all right. We got to listen to him.
All right, show him in.
All right, you can come in now.
Thank you. Well, Mr. We understand you have something you wish to say to us, and our bylaws require that we listen to you. Will you state your business, please?
Thank you. Mr. Chairman and members of the Janesport Businessmen's Club, I come here to this great American club to tell you that Thanksgiving Day I open my restaurant. I hope I will be with you for a long time. I want to announce I am serving regular breakfast from 25 cents to $1, regular lunches from 75 cents to $1.50, and dinners from $1 to $2.25. I hope I can serve you, all of you, many times. It is the dream of my life I should become an American businessman like you. I am glad to open on Thanksgiving Day because I can show my thanks to this country which has given me the chance to be a businessman. On Thanksgiving Day, all the members of the Janesport Businessmen's Club and all the people of the town can come to my restaurant and eat all they want for nothing.
This is how I show my thanks to the country where nobody goes hungry. You can all come and eat for nothing. I thank you.
I see. Well, thank you, Mr.
Dimitri.
Yes. Well, we will consider your invitation. Now, George, will you show our visitor to the door?
Right. Goodbye. I hope you all come.
Mr. Chairman, anyone can see what lies behind all this. That Greek fellow almost had me fooled when he talked about becoming an American businessman. But when he said that he was going to give us free dinners, well, it's pretty plain. He's found out that we're not used to foreigners in this town, that we're suspicious of him. He's trying to buy our friendship. I resent that. I say that nobody go to his opening. I say we all stay away.
Otto Kruger will return in just a moment with the second act of tonight's drama presented by Hallmark greeting cards from the pages of the Reader's Digest, America's favorite magazine. Now, here's Dick Calmer.
For more than 4 centuries, a lamp hung in the Cathedral of Pisa in Italy. Men passing must have noticed how it swung gently to and fro. Then one day, in the year 1581, something happened. No, not to the lamp. The thing that happened was a flash of vision in the mind of an 18-year-old lad who stood gazing at the swinging lamp. He saw far more than anyone who had been there before him. In this lamp swinging so rhythmically, young Galileo saw the great principle of the pendulum. When people have that quality of vision, the ability to see beyond the obvious, it shows in the things they produce. We think this difference shows in Hallmark greeting cards. The folks who make Hallmark cards aren't making just cards. They're making Hallmark cards to express cheer and happiness as genuinely and sincerely as you would greet a friend yourself. That's why Hallmark cards say what you want to say, the way you want to say it. For more than a third of a century, quality has been a habit with the makers of Hallmark cards. That's why discriminating folks look on the back of the cards they send and receive for the 3 identifying words, a Hallmark card. Those 3 words, a Hallmark card, are your assurance of finest quality. They tell your friends you cared enough to send the very best. Now, back to Otto Kruger and Pete's Thanksgiving.
Coming. Have you
No. The potato bin is full, but we need more canned vegetables.
I'll make a note of that.
Yeah, we should now order 2 dozen more pumpkin pies. Everybody wants pumpkin pie on Thanksgiving, eh?
Sure.
Yes. No, someone at the door.
I wonder who it is.
I don't know. I see, eh?
How do?
Hello.
I'm collecting for the Thanksgiving basket.
What?
I'm collecting for the Thanksgiving basket.
Yeah, well, I do not understand it, but come in, come.
Thank you.
My name is Dimitri. This is my wife.
Oh, how do you do?
How do you do? I'm Mrs. Harrison.
Come in, Miss Harrison. Sit down here in this booth.
Oh, thank you. Say, I like this place.
Yeah, it is nice, no?
Very nice.
Maybe you'd like to come to our opening, Thanksgiving Day.
Well, any of my friends come.
Well, all your friends of yours will be here. The whole town is invited.
Yes, so I heard, but
what?
Oh, nothing.
Mrs. Harrison, what is this about Thanksgiving baskets now?
Well, I represent the Woman's Club, and we're making up baskets for the poor.
For the poor, yeah, but in Janesport, you have people here who need such help?
Oh, indeed we do. You see, 2 years ago, the mill moved away from town, and while most of the workers went with it, there were some left behind, and they're poor people.
Oh, I see. You make up baskets for them.
Yes, we ask people to give either food or money.
Money? I see.
And since you run a restaurant, you may find it cheaper to give food.
Well,
I'm sure we can give you something. Fine. We could probably give you 2 turkeys, maybe 3, and some canned vegetables, don't you think, Pete?
That?
Could I have our workers collect them tomorrow? Yeah, I think so.
No.
But, Pete, you mean you don't want to give?
No. I mean, we have food here for our opening. We give that. Not 2 turkeys, not 3 turkeys. All the turkeys and much canned food, too.
Oh, I'm not asking.
No. I want you to. I have reason why I want
I don't
to.
understand.
No, never mind. And I will explain. Mrs. Harrison, could you have the workers come here with how many baskets you need now?
Well, we need about 100.
100. I can feel 75. Have your workers bring 75 baskets to this place tomorrow, eh? All right, ladies. Here on the tables, here is the food. In every basket, we must have 1 turkey, 2 cans of vegetables, 1 cranberry sauce, a pumpkin, some potatoes, and bread to stuff the turkey with. And here on this table is penny candy for the children. Now, let us fill the baskets. Come.
Hello. I have here a basket.
Basket?
Yes, for Thanksgiving.
But...
You see, look here, at the turkey. Gente. The Thanksgiving basket, eh?
Oh, God bless you.
That's all right.
We didn't know what we were going to do for Thanksgiving.
Well, I hope you will have a happy Thanksgiving now.
What's your name? I want to know who to say.
Oh, no, my name doesn't matter. You couldn't pronounce the thing anyway. No, you thank the woman's club, eh? Well, goodbye.
Jamesport Businessmen's Club will please come to order.
Not yet, Mr. Chairman.
Why not, George?
Well, that Greek fella's here again. He's waiting outside to speak to us. He's been trying to win our favor every way he can, Mr. Chairman. After he spoke to us the last time and invited us all to his opening, he must have got wind that we were going to boycott him, so he went in for charity.
Yes, we all know that, George. Now, we've heard the man once. Do we have to hear him again? Can we tell him to...
The bylaws say we have to hear him again. No, man. Now, I suggest we hear him. He's probably going to ask us something or invite us to his opening again or something of that sort. But I suggest we hear him, then take a vote right in his presence, turning down whatever he asks and just showing him where we stand.
All right. George, have him come in.
Right. You may come in.
Thank you.
Well, sir, what can we do for you this time?
Mr. Chairman and members of the Jamesport Businessmen's Club, I come here today very much ashamed. Last time I came here to invite you to the opening of my restaurant on Thanksgiving Day. You see, last time I told you I would give you Thanksgiving Day feed free. And now I come to tell you this cannot be.
Indian giver?
I am so ashamed that I cannot do this. It is impossible. You see, I have took the food that was to be for the opening of my restaurant. I have given it to the Women's Club.
Better publicity, have?
What? I don't understand that. I cannot say. No, it was necessary to fill the baskets for the poor. I have not enough ration points to get more food for my opening. So there will be no opening.
Hey, now, wait a minute. Do I understand you to mean that you've actually hurt yourself financially? That you haven't just done this for advertising?
Advertising? No. How can I advertise my opening when there will be no opening? I can't.
Then why did you give all that food to the poor?
The poor needed the food. I have given to the poor before, but never so much. You see, well, this year I have heard from the Red Cross about my old grandmother in Greece.
she died. See, I've been sending money, clothes, food, and they did not reach her. And so she died. See, Greece is a very unhappy country this year. When my grandmother was dead, the doctors examined her. In her stomach, they find grass and bark. So I gave all my food to the poor this year because I wish to be part of the reason why in America there are no hungry people. I'm sorry. I'm so ashamed. I cannot do what I said I would do for you on Thanksgiving Day.
Is that all?
Yes, sir. I go now.
Mr. Chairman? Yes? We're going to take our vote in the presence of this man. I, for one, am ashamed of having suggested what I did. I think we ought to take a vote anyway. And not the one we planned, though. I move that Mr.
Dimitrik.
I move that Mr. Dimitrik be admitted to membership in this club.
More beans, please.
No, thank you, Ayana.
Not the greatest Thanksgiving Day dinner we've ever had. Is it, please?
No? Oh, yes, Anna, the very greatest, eh?
The doorbell.
Yeah, that must be a mistake. Well, see. Mr. Perkins?
Well, what are you doing here, Pete?
Oh, Mr. Perkins, I do not understand.
Oh, what is it, Mr. Perkins?
Oh, it's the day your restaurant was to open.
Yeah, I know, but...
Well, come downtown and open it.
Yeah, I told you, Mr. Perkins, I gave away all this...
Downtown on Main Street, there's a crowd of people outside your restaurant, and they want to be fed.
Oh, but we postponed the opening. We couldn't possibly...
Just because you couldn't get food for your opening doesn't mean that we couldn't.
What?
People in this town like you, Pete. And they have food, and now they want to see whether you and Anna can cook it.
Anna, you hear that?
Hear it? I'll get our coats, Pete.
Oh, Mr. Perkins, never have I been so happy.
Kruger for a great performance.
Well, I wouldn't have missed playing that part for anything, Dick. It's as American as apple pie.
Or the Statue of Liberty.
Yeah, or what those Hallmark greeting cards call quality, huh? That story had quality, I think. So did little Pete Dimitrik. You know, this whole story reminds me of something I read not long ago in the Reader's Digest by Wendell Wilkie.
Let's hear it.
All right, here it is. I believe in America because we are generous with our freedom. Because we hate no people and covet no people's land. Because we are blessed with a natural and varied abundance. Because we set no limit to a man's achievement. Because we have great dreams. And because we have the opportunity to make those dreams come true.
Thank you again, Otto Kruger. Remember, when you want to greet a friend, send a Hallmark card. For whatever the occasion, a Hallmark card will say what you want to say the way you want to say it. So always look in the back of the card you choose for those three identifying words, a Hallmark card. Like the word sterling on silver, those three words, a Hallmark card, are your assurance of finest quality. They tell your friends you cared enough to send the very best. You're cordially invited to be with us again next week at the same time for another fine dramatic program brought to you by the makers of Hallmark greeting cards. If you enjoyed tonight's show, won't you please tell your friends about it and ask them also to tune in for next week's program sponsored by Hallmark Greeting Cards. At that time, you will hear the true and heartwarming story that's a natural for the St. Patrick's Day season. It's called Sweet Rosie O'Brady, and our star from Hollywood is Miss Dorothy McGuire.
Kruger was supported by Eleanor Phelps in the role of Anna. Pete's Thanksgiving was dramatized by Robert Senadella from Chronicles of Americanization in the Reader's Digest, America's favorite magazine. The Hallmark program was directed by Mark Loeb, with music especially composed by Jack Miller. To be doubly sure of the finest quality, always look in the back of your cards for those three identifying words, a Hallmark card. This is Tom Shirley speaking for the makers of Hallmark greeting cards and for your friendly Hallmark dealer. You'll find a wide selection of Hallmark cards at America's finest shops and stores. Remember, a Hallmark card will best express your perfect taste, your thoughtfulness. This is CBS, the Columbia Broadcasting System.
This is the WBBM Air Theater, Wrigley Building, Chicago.
Ladies and gentlemen, the railroad out. And here comes the star-studded show train. Tonight, the Association of American Railroads presents the famous Gilbert and Sullivan comic opera, The Mikado, starring Gordon MacRae and his two guests, Kenny Baker and Evelyn Case. Our choir is under the direction of Norman Luboff, and the music is arranged and conducted by Carmen Dragon. Yes, tonight another great musical hit is brought to you by the American Railroads, the same railroads that bring you most of the food you eat, the clothes you wear, the fuel you burn, and all the other things you use in your daily life. And now, here is our star, Gordon MacRae.
Thank you, Marvin Miller, and good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Tonight, we're bringing you the charming and delightful Mikado, set in a world that only Gilbert and Sullivan could create. This is the town of Kittipoo. Kenny Baker is our wandering minstrel, Nanky-Poo. Lovely Evelyn Case is Yum Yum. And I've landed myself a job as the Lord High Executioner, a fellow named Coco. And all these others, well, let them introduce themselves.
If you want to know who we are gentlemen of Japan. On many a Boston job, on many a screen and fan. We figure in lively stage, our engines queer and quaint. You're wrong if you think it ain't.
Gentlemen, will you tell me where I can find a lovely maiden named Yum Yum?
Who are you, and why do you want to know?
Oh, gather round me while I tell you. A wandering minstrel I, a thing of shreds and patches, of ballad songs and snatches, and dreamy lullaby. My catalogue is long through every passion ranging, and through your humors changing, I tune my soulful song. I tune my soulful song. romantic sentiment is wanted. I've patriotic ballads cut and dried. For where'er a country's banner may be planted, all other local banners are defied. All warriors in serried ranks assemble, never quail or they conceal it if they do. And I shouldn't be surprised if nations tremble before the mighty troops or troops of T.T.Pooh.
We shouldn't be surprised if nations tremble with the light before the mighty troops or troops of T.T.Pooh.
And if you call for a song of the sea, we'll heave the capstan round. With a yo-heave-ho, for the wind is free. Her anchors a trip and her helms a lee. Hurrah for the homeward bound.
Yo-ho-heave-ho, hurrah for the homeward bound.
To lay aloft in a howling breeze may tickle a landsman's taste, but the happiest hour a sailor sees is when he's down at an inland town, with his Nancy on his knees. And his arm around her waist. A wandering minstrel I, a thing of shreds and patches, of ballad songs and snatches, and dreamy lullaby. And dreamy lullaby.
And what is your business with Yum Yum, minstrel?
Well, a year ago, I fell in love with Yum Yum, but she was engaged to a cheap tailor named Coco. And broken-hearted, I left town. But imagine my delight when I heard that Coco had been condemned to death for flirting. So I've come back to find my Yum Yum.
It is true that Coco was condemned to death, but he was reprieved at the last moment and raised to the rank of Lord High Executioner.
Coco? Lord High Executioner?
Yes. And I'm Pooh-Bah, Lord High Everything Else. First Lord of the Treasury, Lord Chief Justice, Lord High Admiral, and Lord Mayor, all rolled into one.
That's quite a roll.
You're wasting your time. Yum Yum is on her way home from school to marry the Lord High Executioner today.
No.
Ah, here comes His Excellency, Coco.
Behold the Lord High Executioner, a personage of noble rank and title, a dignified and potent officer, whose functions are particularly vital, very vital, very vital. Bow down to the Lord High Executioner. Bow down to the noble Lord, to the noble Lord, to the Lord High Executioner.
Oh, gentlemen, I'm very touched by this reception, and I feel there are plenty of people whose deaths will be a distinct gain to society. Someday it may happen that a victim must be found. I've got a little list of society offenders who might well be underground and who never would be missed, There's the pestilential nuisances who write for autographs, and people who have flabby hands and irritating laughs. All children who are up in dates and floor you with them flat. All persons who in shaking hands shake hands with you like that. And all third persons who on spoiling tete-a-tates insist. They'd none of them be missed. They'd none of them be missed.
He's got 'em on a list. He's got 'em on a list. And then none of them be missed. They'll none of them be missed. None of them be missed. None of them be missed. None of them be missed.
And that nice eye-prios nuisance who just now is rather rife, the judicial humorist, I've got him on the list. All funny fellows, comic men and clowns of private life. They'd none of them be missed. They'd none of them be missed. and apologetic statesmen of a compromising kind, such as, what do you call him, thingamabob, and likewise, never mind, and what's his name, and also, you know who. The task of filling up the blanks I'd rather leave to you, but it really doesn't matter whom you put upon the list, for they'd none of them be missed. They'd none of them be missed.
You may put them on a list, you may put them on a list, and they'll none of them be missed. They'll none of them be missed.
Ah, here comes Yum Yum and her schoolmates. Please bow in a characteristic Japanese attitude.
Three little mates from school are we, where does the school girl walk and be? Filled with a learn with girlish glee. Three little mates from school, everything is a source of fun. Nobody says what they care for one. Life is a joke that's just begun. Three little mates from school. Three little mates who all unwary come from a lady seminary. Three from a genius to the Larry. Three little mates from school. Three little mates from school.
And now, Yum Yum, my future bride, kiss me.
Yes, Your Excellency.
Yum Yum.
Oh, look, who's here? It's Nanky Poo.
Oh, yes, my beloved.
Beloved? Who is this?
Sir, I have the misfortune to love Yum Yum. Please, don't be angry.
Angry? Not a bit, my boy. I love her myself. Take him away.
Please. Please. Let me have just 2 minutes with her.
Very well. But by Japanese time, that's pretty fast. I'll be right back.
Oh, Yum Yum, I love you so.
I love you too, minstrel.
But I must confess something, Yum Yum. I am the son of the Mikado.
The son of the Mikado?
Yes, you see, a few years ago, an old crow named Katisha fell in love with me. And my father ordered me to marry her or go to the scaffold. I couldn't do that, so... Well, I left town and took up the second trombone. And then I saw you.
Time's up.
Oh, no. Farewell, Yum Yum.
Farewell, Nanky Poo.
Your Excellency, as Postmaster General, I have a special message from the Mikado.
What?
If you don't execute somebody soon, he's going to have the executor executed.
Oh, my, that's terrible. I'd lose face.
You lose your whole head.
Just a minute. You, Nanky Poo.
Yes?
What are you doing with that rope?
I'm going to kill myself because you're going to marry Yum Yum.
Oh, that's silly. You'll botch the job. Let a professional like me do it.
Look, if you let me marry Yum Yum today, in a month you can behead me.
That's impossible. I'm going to marry Yum Yum myself.
She'll be a widow in a month, and you can marry her then.
Makes sense. I'll do it.
Good. Japanese equivalent for here.
Hold everything.
It's Katisha, the old crow.
If Nanky Poo is going to marry anybody, it's going to be me.
My dear woman, that's impossible. Oh, he's going to marry Yum Yum. Your anger, pray bury. I think you will marry. I think you had better succumb and join our expressionately.
I'm going to the Mikado. You haven't heard the last of me.
On the starting we pray every dum. We think you had better succumb. You'll find there are many who went for a penny, who went for a penny. There are lots of good fish in the sea. There are lots of good fish in the sea. There's lots of good fish in the sea. There's lots of good fish in the sea, in the sea, in the sea, in the sea, in the sea.
We'll return to the second act of the Mikado in a moment. But first, think of what you get when you buy a railroad ticket. A ticket on a railroad train buys for you a lot more than just transportation from one place to another. It buys you, for one thing, comfort and relaxation. You don't have to keep an eye on the traffic lights. You don't have to watch out for other drivers on the highway. The conductor and the engineer will run the train, and all you have to do is to relax and ride and watch America roll by your car window. And your railroad ticket buys you spaciousness. On the train, you don't have to keep your seat. You don't have to stay in one place or even in one car. There are lounges inviting you to a sociable visit with your fellow passengers, and dining cars where you may enjoy a snack or a regular meal. And when night comes, there are sleeping cars with berths and rooms inviting you to slumber, all as you ride. And when you buy a train ticket, you buy dependability, for the trains run in all kinds of weather. Most important of all, your ticket buys you safety. Safety to a degree which, year in and year out, is not even approached by any other form of passenger transportation in America. So when you buy a railroad ticket, remember what else you are buying besides transportation. You are buying relaxation and enjoyment. You are buying a look at your country as you travel through it. You are buying a chance to read or to write, to work or to talk with your fellow travelers. You are buying spaciousness and reliability and safety, all for the price of a railroad ticket. Ready for Act Two of Gilbert and Sullivan's The Mikado, starring Gordon MacRae as Coco and his guests Kenny Baker as Nanky Poo and Evelyn Case as Yum Yum.
Oh, how beautifully the moon is shining, for I am to marry my minstrel boy. Hello, moon. How lovely you are. You seem to smile at me. The sun whose rays are all ablaze with ever-living glory does not deny his majesty. He scorns to tell a story. He won't exclaim, I blush for shame, so kindly being indulgent. But fierce and bold in fiery gold, he glories all effulgent. I mean to rule the earth and see the sky. We really know the sun and I mean to rule the earth and see the sky. We really know the sun and Observe his flame, that placid dame, the moon's celestial highness. There's not a trace upon her face of diffidence or shyness. She bore us life, and through the night mankind may all acclaim her. And truth to tell, she lights up well, so I, for one, don't blame her. Pray make no mistake, we are not shy. We're very wide awake, the moon and I. Pray make no mistake, we are not shy. We're very wide awake, the moon and
Yum Yum, we have terrible news. Coco here has discovered a horrible law.
Yes, Yum Yum. You see, when a married man is beheaded, his wife is buried alive.
So if you marry me, I doom you to death.
Oh, dear. Here's a howdy-do, if I marry you. When your time has come to perish, then the children whom you cherish must be slaughtered too. Here's a howdy-do. Here's a howdy-do.
Here's a pretty mess in a month or less. I must die without a wedding. Let the bitter tears I'm shedding witness my distress. Here's a pretty mess. Here's a pretty mess. Here's a state of things. To her life she clings. Matrimonial devotion doesn't seem to suit her notion. Burial it brings. Oh, here's a state of things. Here's a state of things. With a passion that's intense, I worship and adore. But the laws of common sense we often do ignore. If what I say is true, is death to marry you. Here's a pretty state of things. Here's a pretty howdy-do. Here's a pretty state of things. A pretty state of things.
Here's a howdy-do.
Here's a howdy-do. For if what he says is true, I cannot marry you. Here's a pretty, pretty state of things. Here's a pretty howdy-do.
Listen, everybody. The Mikado is arriving in Titipoo. Oh. That old crow Catishaw's brought him.
Oh, dear me, we haven't time to behead you, Nanky Poo. Oh, well, we will just say we've beheaded you.
And I'll make out an affidavit and swear to it. All 15 of me will swear to it.
Dear, here comes the Mikado. Leave quickly, Nanky Poo. If he finds you alive, it won't look as if I beheaded you. Yes, come, Yum Yum.
Bow down. Bow down to the Mikado.
Silence! Silence! Where is he? Where is the Lord High Executioner?
Here, Your Majesty. And your wishes have been attended to. An execution has taken place. We've beheaded the minstrel, Nanky Poo.
Nanky Poo? My dear fellow, you have executed the heir to the throne of Japan.
Oh, no.
And it seems to me there's a punishment for that crime.
Oh, punishment?
Something amusing. With the boiling oil. Or melted lead.
Oh.
It'll kill you.
Your Majesty, if you'll just give me 2 minutes, I think I can straighten this out.
I grant you 2 minutes.
Nanky Poo, Nanky Poo. Yes, Coco. You've got to make an appearance to show the Mikado you've still got your head.
No, sir. If I show up, Katishaw will claim me. But if you'd marry Katishaw, then I could put my head back on before you even cut it off.
Me marry Katishaw, that old crow?
When Katishaw is married, existence will be as welcome as the flowers in spring. The flowers that bloom in the spring, tra-la, brief promise of merry sunshine. As we merrily dance and we sing, tra-la, we welcome the hope that they bring, tra-la, of a summer of roses and wine, of a summer of roses and wine. And that's what we mean when we say that a thing is welcome as flowers that bloom in the spring. Tra-la-la-la-la-la, tra-la-la-la-la-la, the flowers that bloom in the spring. Tra-la-la-la-la, tra-la-la-la-la, tra-la-la-la-la. The flowers that bloom in the spring, tra-la, have nothing to do with the case. I've got to take under my wing, tra-la, a most unattractive old thing, tra-la, with a caricature of a face, with a caricature of a face. And that's what I mean when I say or I sing, oh, Father, the flowers that bloom in the spring. Tra-la-la-la-la, tra-la-la-la-la, oh, Father, the flowers of spring. Tra-la-la-la-la, tra-la-la-la-la, tra-la-la-la-la.
My poor little Nanky Poo.
Go ahead, Coco. There's Katisha now.
Well, at least she's a little prettier than boiling oil or melted lead. Katisha!
Oh, it's you, the beast who beheaded my beloved.
Katisha, I love you.
Huh?
If you don't marry me, I shall perish on the spot.
Oh, don't be silly. Nobody ever died of a broken heart.
Oh, Katisha, you don't know what you're saying. Listen. On a tree by a river, a little tomtit sang willow, tit willow, tit willow. And
And I said to him, Dickie Bird, why do you sit singing willow, tit willow, tit willow? Is it weakness of intellect, birdie, I cried, or a rather tough worm in your little inside? With a shake of his poor little head, he replied, oh, willow, tit willow, tit willow. He slapped at his chest as he sat on that bough, singing willow, tit willow, tit willow. And a cold perspiration bespangled his brow. Oh, willow, tit willow, tit willow. He sobbed and he sighed and a gurgle he gave. Then he plunged himself into the billowy wave. And an echo arose from the suicide's grave. Oh, willow, tit willow, tit willow. Now I feel just as sure as I'm sure that my name isn't Willow, tit willow, tit willow. That was blighted affection that made him exclaim, oh, willow, tit willow, tit willow. And if you remain callous and obdurate, I shall perish as he did, and you will know why, though I probably shall not exclaim as I die. Oh, willow, tit willow, tit willow.
Did he really die?
Yes, he did.
And if I refuse you, will you do the same?
At once.
Then I'll marry you. Oh, I'm a silly little goose.
Time's up. Make ready for the boiling oil.
Your Majesty, everything's been cleared up. Nanky Poo, come out. I'm going to marry Katisha. Father.
Well, how did this happen? He still seems to have his head.
Your Majesty, it's this way. When you say, let a thing be done, it's as good as done. You said, execute somebody. So, Nanky Poo was as good as dead.
A very satisfactory explanation.
As Lord High Toastmaster, I call for the Japanese equivalent of, they all lived happily ever after.
With joyous shout, ringing cheer, inaugurate the new career. With joyous shout, ringing cheer, with laughing song and merry dance, with laughing song and merry dance.
Kenny Baker and Evelyn Case will be back in just a moment. Meanwhile, this is Gordon McRae giving a vote of thanks to our excellent supporting cast, Arthur Q. Bryan, Verna Felton, and Lou Merrill. The Mikado, of course, is by Gilbert and Sullivan, and it was adapted for radio by Lawrence and Lee. The Railroad Hour is brought to you each week at this time by the American Railroads. These railroads are your hometown partners. They provide jobs for your neighbors. They buy supplies in your town. And they pay local taxes just as you and I. Thus, the railroads are more than just railroads. They are citizens, and mighty important citizens, in your hometown. And now, here are Kenny Baker and Evelyn Case.
Thank you, everybody, and thank you, Gordon. We're back from the fantastic town of Tittipoo to the fantastic town of Hollywood.
It was fun, Gordon. Thanks for asking us.
Oh, you were wonderful, yum-yum, Evelyn. But Nanky Poo here was a little better at the hanky-panky.
Yeah. Yeah, I got the girl, but I bet you get the girl next week, Gordon.
Well, I wondered if you were going to say that, Kenny. I think you might be right. We're presenting Sigmund Romberg's romantic operetta, The Desert Song. And our guest will be the lovely light opera star, Dorothy Sarnoff.
We'll be listening. Good night.
Sure will. Good night, everybody.
Good night. Well, it looks as though we're ready to pull out, and so until next week, goodbye.
The Mikado was presented by special arrangement with Tam's Whitmark Music Library. Gordon McRae appeared by arrangement with Warner Brothers, producers of The Hasty Heart, starring Ronald Reagan, Patricia Neal, and Richard Todd. Our choir is under the direction of Norman Luboff, our music arranged and conducted by Carmen Dragon. This is Marvin Miller saying goodbye until next week for the Association of American Railroads.
Next, it's The Voice of Firestone on NBC.
From out of the West comes Red Ryder, America's famous fighting cowboy.
Trot up that pony, little beaver. It's trouble in Frying Pan Valley. Let's hit the trail. There's hard riding ahead.
You betcha, Red Ryder. Get along. Get him up. Get!
Get going, Thunder. Hit that trail. Come on, Thunder.
The Adventures of Red Ryder. The trail followed by Red Ryder and Little Beaver in tracking down Ace Hanlon leads them now into the short grass country of the high plains. And Red Ryder wonders what new business Hanlon can be up to since his lucky escape from the cabin in Bear Canyon. Red Ryder and Little Beaver come to the edge of a high mesa overlooking Frying Pan Valley.
Oh, thunder. Well, Little Beaver, if Ace Hanlon is holed up in that valley down there, he isn't going to get rich in a hurry. It's all right for cattle, but not enough water for farming.
Down there, me see 'em farms. Look, farmers make 'em fence.
You're right, Little Beaver. You never miss a thing with those sharp eyes of yours. Say, now, that is peculiar. On one side of the valley is a cattle ranch. On the other side, some mighty poor-looking farms. Sure enough, those men with the wagons are putting up a barbed wire fence between the ranch and the farms.
Look, cowboys ride 'em down for range. They no like 'em fence.
Say, from the way those waddies are scratching leather, I reckon you're dead right. They no like 'em fence. Little Beaver, I begin to see why. That line of cottonwoods marks the creek. The only water supply's on the outside of the fence.
Farmers pen up common. No get 'em in, no get 'em out, huh?
That's it, Little Beaver. And the cowboys are going to cut that fence to get out.
Cowboys got 'em guns. Make 'em big fight. We get 'em in fight, our Red
Not so
Ryder.
fast, Little Beaver. We don't know which side's in the right and which side's in the wrong. Say, they're really throwing lead. Those cowboys sure mean business. They're trying to cut the barbed wire.
Look, many nesters come over here with rifles. Heap big fire.
Heap too big for the cowpunchers. The nesters are running them off, and they didn't get the fence cut. Say, they winged one of the cowboys. His horse is down. It's about time we're looking into this. Let's ride.
Get 'em up, Papu.
Come on, Thunder. Hit that trail. You catch his horse, Little Beaver. I'll see how badly he's hurt.
Now, what's the matter, partner? You hit?
Thanks. No, I'm not hit. Like to broke my neck when my horse stepped in a badger hole and threw me.
Here, let me help you up. Yeah. Any broken bones?
No. Yeah, leg's kind of sore, but my shap saved me. Yeah, it's right nice of you to be so interested. If I've made a new friend, I'd admire to know his name.
Red Ryder, and yours?
Bud Ward. Old man owns the Frying Pan Ranch. Right now, though, I'm in Dutch with him. Say, did you see the fight?
Yes, what there was of it. You boys were kind of outnumbered. Say, what was that ruckus about?
Fence cutting war. Nesters and cowmen. You know what that means.
Depends on who's in the wrong.
We're both in the wrong.
That sounds strange coming from you, Bud. You're on the cowmen's side of the fight.
Wasn't on their side. I was trying to stop our hands from cutting the fence. Not a good it did me. Dad up and fired me as straw boss. Gave my job to a new hand, Bull Burton.
Bull Burton?
Yeah.
Say, that name has a familiar ring to it. I knew a Bull Burton who worked for Ace Hanlon once. Bad hombres, both of them.
Bull's a bad hombre, all right. Say, maybe you'll put your finger on something, Mr. Ryder. Ace Hanlon is president of the Great Plains Land Company.
Is that so?
Yeah.
Uh-huh. Ace Hanlon's outfit sold these nesters their farmland, I suppose.
That's it. Gave them darn little for their money. But they're hooked now, and they've got to have a fair chance to make a living.
With Hanlon in the deal, I'm beginning to see daylight. He must be after your father's ranch. But I'm a trifle curious to know why you're not sticking to your dad in this rumpus.
There's a main reason coming now.
Oh, the young lady on the horse.
Yeah.
Is she a nester's daughter?
Uh-huh. They don't make 'em any finer. Her father, Mr. Lindsay, is the leader of the nesters. Lindsayville's named after him.
That explains everything. Say, she handles that horse like an old hand.
Yeah.
Bud, are you hurt?
Oh, no, just a game leg. Horse stepped in a badger hole. Oh, Grace, meet Mr. Red Ryder. He happened along handy to pick up the pieces.
Pleased to meet you, Mr. Ryder.
Howdy, Miss Lindsay. I don't wonder you got excited seeing how much powder was burned between Bud's friends and your father's.
Oh, I begged Father to give up our land and stop this bloodshed.
There wasn't much bloodshed this time. Your folks had all the best of it.
There will be, I'm sure of it.
There, now, Miss Lindsay, I wouldn't do any more worrying about Bud. Just you go on home and forget there's any war.
You're going to help settle things, Mr. Ryder?
Well, I'm going to try. But first I'll have a little powwow with Bud's dad to get his side of the argument. And then I'll drop in and see your father, if you'll invite me. And after that, I'll be looking up Mr. Ace Hanlon.
Oh, I wish you would come. And hurry, please. I'm so afraid for Father and Bud.
Thanks, Miss Lindsay. Oh, and by the way, don't mention to Ace Hanlon or anyone else in town that Red Ryder's in these parts.
I'll remember. But do be careful, won't you?
Don't worry about me. I was born to break my neck falling off a horse. So long, Grace.
Now, Bud, if you can get your eyes off that vanishing bit of calico, I'm going to make you a rash promise. I'm going to get you that job back as straw boss at the frying pan.
You don't know Dad. He's a fighting man and stubborn as a mule.
Well, here's Little Beaver with that frisky horse of yours. Now, we'd better be getting along to the ranch house. I have a hunch we haven't got much time to head off more trouble.
We catch him horse. Him run him long way.
All right, Little Beaver, bring him up. All right, come on, Bud. I'll give you a hand up.
Yeah, okay.
Easy now.
Gee, right now I need a bottle of liniment more than I need a job as straw boss.
I hope you got enough liniment to go around, because something tells me Mr. Bull Burton's going to need a little. All right, up, Thunder.
Get him up, Papoose.
Yeah, these cows look mighty thirsty, Bull. How's the spring on the upper range holding out?
Running lower every day, Mr. Ward.
We gotta cut that fence or I'll have no cattle left.
I'm afraid you're fighting a losing game, Mr. Ward. The nesters have you licked. If I was you, I'd quit.
Not by a darn sight will I quit. When the riders from the lion camp come in, we'll have as many men as those nesters. Then we're going through that fence. Hey, is that Bud riding in?
Huh? Yeah, that's the kid, all right. But who's the red-headed hombre with him?
I don't know. We'll soon find out.
Dad, I want to make you acquainted with Red Ryder. Red, this is my dad, Dustin Ward.
Howdy, Mr. Wood.
Hey, Cookie, get me the liniment bottle.
Say, I like your brand, Mr. Wood. That frying pan sure looks ornamental on a cow's flank.
Yeah, it sure does, Mr. Ryder. That is, if I can keep enough cows to brand it on. Well, sizing you up, Ryder, I'd say you'd make a good gun for us. Not we need 'em so bad to fight nesters.
I wasn't aiming to offer my gun.
Red Ryder, shake hands with Bull Burton, my straw boss. You can work under him.
Bull Burton. I'm not shaking hands with him. I've got strong recollections of his using a running iron on the Dutchess cattle at Painted Valley. You worked for Ace Hanlon, didn't you, Bull?
No, I wasn't working for Ace Hanlon. I don't know the gent. And you're insinuating I'm a brand burner. Mr. Red Ryder, you better chew up them words and swallow 'em, or
I'll call you, Bull. Oh! You use Hanlon's flash draw, Bull, but you're not as fast with it as he is.
If you didn't have that 44 train on me, I'd break you in half.
All right. Mr. Ward, pick up his gun. And here's mine. Now, you just hold both of those guns. Yeah. And, Bud, don't use all that lemon. Bull's going to need some of it.
Save your preaching for your funeral.
I'm laying my money on the
Look out, Red. Here's Boo.
I see him. You. This'll take care of you.
Well, Bud, you better pass Bull the liniment.
I knew you was a good man, Red Ryder. I'll sign you on as straw boss. Bull can work under you.
I'm much obliged, Mr. Wood, but I'm not signing on. You better hand the job back to Bud.
Hey, you're not looking for a berth. Why in tarnation did you come here at all?
Well, I'm here as sort of persuader, Mr. Wood. You know, there's two ways of settling a dispute. Gun law and peace-abiding law.
I'm not talking peace with them low-down plowhoppers. Even if my son has gone soft on a clodhopper's gal. The nesters have shut off my cattle from water. They'll take down that fence or I'm cutting it down.
Now, take it easy, Mr. Wood. Maybe we can settle this peacefully. Now, from what I hear, Mr. Lindsay is a reasonable man. Just as you're a reasonable man.
Well, what do you want me to do about it?
All I'm asking is that you come along with me to Lindsayville and smoke a peace pipe with old man Lindsay. Now, it's my hope to settle this without gunplay. Is that fair?
Always aim a deal from the top of the deck, Red Ryder. I'll go with you. But I warn you, if my cattle don't get to the water before sundown, the fur's going to fly.
Fair enough, Mr. Wood. Now, let's ride. And you come along, too, Bud.
You bet.
Me come. Keep my and Ace handling. Get him up, Papoose.
Come on, Thunder. We're heading for Lindsayville. We got work to do.
Been talking to the nesters, and they're sure tickled the way we licked the cowpunchers this morning.
That's right, Buzzard. We got old man Ward just where we want him. If we can keep that fence up, his cattle will die, and we can grab the frying pan ranch.
With Bull working for Ward, you can count on him to let us know if and the cowboys try to cut the fence.
Hey, see who it is.
Yeah, sure. Who's out there? It's me, Bull. Open the door quick. All right.
What's the trouble, Bull?
Trouble enough. Red Ryder showed up with the frying pan.
What? Yeah, that does mean trouble. What's he up to?
Red Ryder's on his way over here to Lindsayville with old man Ward. They're going to have a meeting with Matthew Lindsay. If the Red Ryder has his way, they'll call off the fence war.
He ain't going to have his way. If Red Ryder horns in on this, it's the last thing he'll ever do.
Hands off your guns, boys.
Ryder!
You've got me interested, Ace. What's the last thing I'm going to do?
Hey, you keep out of my business, Red Ryder, or it'll be your finish.
I'm dealing the cards now, and get this straight, Ace. I'm settling this fence war by law and order. I know your game is to get a hold of Ward's ranch, and you're using the nesters to do it for you.
I sold them land. They got a right to fence it.
But they can't keep Ward from water. Now, you're trying to force them so that you can grab his land.
Well, you can't stop me from buying and selling land.
But I'm going to stop you from stealing it.
Yeah? To do that, you'll have to bring your cowboys and come a-shooting.
When this is settled, I'm coming for you, Ace. Alone. And I'll come a-shooting.
We return to the adventures of Red Ryder in just a moment. We return to our present adventure of Red Ryder and find him standing before the Lindsay cabin in Lindsayville, attempting to bring to a peaceful settlement the war between the cattlemen and the nesters. Red Ryder has induced Dustin Ward and Matthew Lindsay to shake hands. Bud Ward and Grace Lindsay stand by as interested listeners in the discussion. Upon the outcome of this depends their happiness.
Now, you cattle folk and farm folk must shake hands and understand each other.
Shaking hands don't mean anything. What are you going to do about that fence?
Well, if Bud and Grace can get along without worrying about the fence, there's no reason why you and Mr. Lindsay can't do likewise.
We'd better leave the young ones out of it, Mr. Ryder. The question is, how can we farmers protect our rights? If Ward tears down that fence, what's to stop his cattle from tramping our crops?
I didn't ask you to come here and plant crops, Lindsay. This is grazing land.
We bought the land in good faith, and we mean to stay on it.
That's just the trouble, Mr. Lindsay. You bought the land in good faith, but the truth is you were swindled by Ace Hanlon.
What do you mean, swindled?
Well, this short grass land is only fit for grazing. There isn't enough water around here for your crops. It's your right, of course, to stick and find out for yourself. But if you do stay, you've got to be fair and give Mr. Ward access to water for his cattle.
Red Ryder, you seem to be more interested in the rights of the cattlemen than you do of us farmers.
Red's a cowman himself. He knows what's right.
Come on, boys. You heard what he said. Well, Red Ryder, seems like you stuck your nose in a buzzsaw. Boys, you heard him say you were swindled when you bought these farms.
Yeah, what's he talking about?
You heard him claim this land ain't no good except to feed the cattle of his friend, Dustin Ward. Don't you see through his little game? He scares you off and Ward takes the land. Are you going to let him do that?
No, wait a minute. You're letting Ace Hanlon stampede you into doing something you'll regret. Now, Ace, you can't get away with this.
Can't I? Watch me. Come on, boys.
I don't care what you do with the land, you clodhoppers. But if you don't take that fence down before nightfall, I'm going to cut it down.
Don't let him leave here, boys. Stop him. Now's your chance, Bull. Get Ward.
Drop that gun, Bull. I was just in time to save you from a charge of murder.
Come on, Dad, let's get out of here. From now on, it's gun law for me.
That's more like it, son. We're getting out, but we'll come back or shoot.
Now, wait a minute, Mr. Ward. We'll settle this yet. I've got the crowd covered.
Won't do you no good, Red Ryder. Not to pull that trigger. The business end of my 44's in your back. And it says drop your gun and reach.
It's about your style, Ace Hanlon. You always stick a man in the back when you're afraid to meet him face to face.
I warned you, Red Ryder, it'd be your finish. And it is. Hey, boys, I got Red Ryder. You saw what he was up to. You know what to do with him.
Father, save Red Ryder. He was only trying to help
I
us.
see that now. It's too late. Hanlon, you're carrying this too far. Ryder's done nothing. Release him.
Ah, Lindsay, you're too chicken-hearted to fight cowmen. You ain't seen anything yet. Boys, you can throw Mr. Meddlin' Red Ryder in jail. If Ward and his cowboys try to cut that fence, you can hang Ryder high enough to make them change their minds. All right, lock him up, boys.
Quiet, please, quiet. Now, friends, you got to come to order, or there could be no agreement as to what we're going to do. Now, Mr. Hanlon, you have the floor.
Well, friends, there's no use wasting time when you got your land to defend.
That's just what I said. There's no time to talk.
I sold you that land, and I stand back of it. I won't let Ward and his cowpunchers cut that fence.
Now get to the point, Mr. Hanlon. What do you propose we do to stop them?
Well, I've figured out a smart way to stop them cutting the fence. We've loaded half a dozen tin cans with dynamite and hooked them to the barbed wire where the cattle used to come through to drink.
When the cattle reach the fence, they'll be blowed up, is that it?
No, Lindsay. When the cowpunchers try to cut that wire and let the cattle through, the air will be full of cowpokes.
You mean to deliberately murder those men, blasting them to bits?
Why not? They'd fill you full of lead, wouldn't they?
There's a difference between murder and honorable fighting.
Oh, I told you, Lindsay, you're chicken-hearted.
I'll have no part in this outrage. If this gathering wants you for a leader, that's up to them. I resign.
Men, you heard what Ward says he'd do about that fence before nightfall. Are you going to let him do it?
Oh, of course not.
Well, then let's go.
Come on, let's go take care of ourselves. Yeah? Who's there? What do you want? Matthew Lindsay. I want to see the prisoner, Red Ryder.
Oh, come in, Mr. Lindsay.
Yes.
I was afraid some of them cowpunchers might try to get the Red Ryder out.
I want to talk to him.
Yeah, come this way, Mr. Lindsay. Yeah, there he is. Right here in the cell. Now, be careful, Mr. Lindsay. They say the Red Ryder's tricky.
Don't worry. I won't take chances. You can wait outside.
Mr. Lindsay?
Not so loud. The guard may be listening.
What's happened?
Terrible things that I can't approve of.
Ace Hanlon's doings, I reckon.
Entirely. My people would never think of such an outrage if they weren't under the spell of that man.
You mustn't be surprised at anything Hanlon does. What's he up to now?
He plans to blow up Ward and his cowboys with dynamite.
Dynamite, huh?
Yes.
That's a new one for Ace. How's he going to do it?
He hears the barbed wire fence charged with dynamite. When Ward and his cowboys come down to cut the fence, the powder will explode and they'll be blown to bits. But I don't intend to let that happen. That's why I'm here.
If I was out of this cell, it wouldn't happen. But I need either a key or a gun to get out of here.
I thought of that. I brought you the gun. You'll have to get the key from the jailer.
That's mighty fine of you, Mr. Lindsay, seeing you're on the opposite side. Now, if we're going to stop Hanlon from wholesale murder, we've got to hurry.
Well, here's an idea. I'll tell the guard that you're going to sign a confession. When he comes to witness it, you do the rest.
Right.
All right, now wait. Hey, Johnson.
Yes?
Come here.
Come in. What is it, Mr. Lindsay?
Ryder's agreed to sign a confession. Have you got a pencil?
Yeah, sure. Here it is.
Just step up here and you can witness it. Mr. Red Ryder, sign here.
I'm not signing anything. Both of you get your hands up.
Huh? She got my gun.
Johnson, drop that gun of yours.
Yes, sir.
Now, step up close to the bar so I can reach those keys. There. Now, keep your hands up. Now, Johnson, into this cell with you.
Well, I swan.
Sorry to bother you, Mr. Lindsay, but you're going with me.
Why, what do you
Now,
mean?
march and keep your hands up.
The little Indian boy has your horse waiting back of the jail. Good luck.
Thanks.
Me here, Red Ryder.
Come on, little beaver. We've got to ride harder than we ever rode in our lives. Come on, Thunder.
Get him up, Papoose.
Hit that trail.
Shoving. They're so thirsty they'll go through the fence without our cutting it.
And tear themselves to pieces on that barbed wire.
Well, you got to ride well ahead of them. Now, you and Pete have got the shears. I cut 100 feet of wire either side of the old water trail.
We're going to run into some lead from those nesters.
Don't worry. I'll leave 4 hands on the herd. There'll be a dozen men covering you with Winchesters. Now, get going. Cut that fence.
As good as cut. Come on, Pete.
Come on, Thunder. We're racing against death. Give it all you got, boy. On, Thunder!
Whoa, Prince. Rein in, Pete. Better stop here and tie our horses back from the fence. Those steers are so loco for water they'll stampede the horses. Get your clippers ready and come on.
Wait, Bud.
Huh?
Look at that rider heading for us and waving his arms. What's the matter with him?
What? Hey, it's Red Ryder and the little Indian kid. They're trying to cut in between us and the fence. What are they up to?
We better wait and see.
Well, the cattle won't wait. Hey, what's Red Ryder yelling? Can you make it out?
Keep away from that fence. Run for your lives.
Little Beaver, head over to those cowboys and tell them to mill the lead steers if they can. I've got to explode that dynamite with my gun. Those cowpokes are running towards their death. Ride, Little Beaver, ride.
You shoot 'em dynamite, Red Ryder. We starting cowboys.
I don't dare miss one of those cans. Come on, Thunder. Come on, Thunder. Steady now. Here's the first one. Easy, son. Now go it, boy. So far, so good, Thunder. 2 more to go.
Thunder Boy, we did it!
Well, Red Ryder, lucky you can shoot the way you do, or Bud and my herd would have been blown to kingdom come.
That's one time in my life when I didn't dare miss.
Hey, how'd you learn about the dynamite on the fence?
Lindsay told me.
Lindsay? Well, hey, this calls for a celebration. I'll shake Lindsay's hand again and mean it this time. What's more, I'll give my blessings to Grace and Bud.
Red Ryder!
What's the matter, little beaver?
Men right in my way. We catch 'em quick.
You get the folks and celebrate, Mr. Wood. I may be back after I hang a sign on the Great Plains Land Company gone out of business.
Hurry, Red Ryder. Catch some bad men.
Pound that dirt, Thunder. We don't want to keep 'em waiting. Come on, Thunder. Hit that trail!
That was some real excitement, and Red Ryder certainly knew how to handle a gun while riding at breakneck speed on his great horse Thunder. With the fence-cutting war quickly settled by Red Ryder and Little Beaver, their next adventure finds them riding straight into the wild Cherokee Strip country, where the only law is gun law, and where Red Ryder's quickness on the draw and his bare fists are sure to go into action. Listen in next time when America's famous fighting cowboy rides into the Cherokee Strip.
This is Frank Morgan. Here's the radio program you asked for.
The makers of Campbell Soup bring you Request Performance, produced by the Maskers Club of Hollywood.
It's the newest show in town. It's for you, the newest show in town. Take a seat by your radio and make the kids pipe down. Campbell Soup has the newest show in town. Hurry, hurry, you'll hear Morgan, king of Chester's Soup, perform for your request. And selfie song from Rudy Valley and the sketches of the Valley. Then there's Lynn, who's called Diana, playing tunes on the piano. And the Stardust man Carmichael riding on your tail cycle. Henry Aldrich comes around yet for the newest show in town. Yet called Request Performance. It's enormous.
Welcome to Request Performance, the radio program which answers the mail from the listening audience. Whatever you ask for, you get. So get ready for a few surprises. Here's the first letter.
Hoagie Carmichael speaking. Forrest Daniels of Denver, Colorado, writes that he and his wife, Margie, enjoy hearing some of my tunes, especially Stardust, and they'd like to hear Rudy Valley sing Stardust on Request Performance.
Request granted.
Sometimes I wonder why I spend the lonely night dreaming of a song. The melody haunts my reverie.
Hello there.
Hello. And I am once again with you when our love was new and each kiss an inspiration.
That's nice.
Thanks. But that was long ago, and now my consolation is in the stardust of a song beside a... I've forgotten the words.
I know the words.
You do?
Yes, I was around when they were written.
Proceed.
Beside the garden wall, when stars were bright, you were in my arms.
Say, you do pretty well.
I'm just trying. The nightingale sings his fairy tale, a paradise where roses grew. Though I dream in vain, in my heart it will remain my stardust melody, the memory of love's refrain. Say, you must be a Hoagie Carmichael fan. Oh, I wouldn't say that. Well, I like everything he's ever written, don't you? Well, some yes, some no. Mostly yes. Tell you what, let me do another Carmichael tune the way Hoagie himself might do it. This I gotta hear. Oh, rocking chair's got me by my side. Fetch me that there bottle of gin, son. Oh, I'll tan you all high. Hey, you mind if I pitch in here? Delighted to have you. Can't get from this cabin. Ain't going nowhere. Just set me here grabbing at the flies-rounded rocking chair. Oh, my dear old Aunt Harriet, in heaven she be. Send me sweet chariot for the end of the trouble I see. That there old rocking chair gets me. Gets it. Judgment Day is chair. Judgment Day is chair. Did I write that? Chained to my old rocking chair. Say, it's been fun running over these tunes with you, but I don't think we've been introduced. Oh, I'm sorry. My name's Carrie Jacobs Bond. Glad to know you. My name's Frank Sinatra. Huh?
This is Del Sharbutt with another letter. Dear Request Performance, please tell all the ladies listening in that once again they'll find Campbell's Tomato Soup on their grocer shelves. Signed, 532,000 grocers throughout the United States and Canada. Yes, the new pack is in, ready to help you serve tempting fall lunches and suppers. So if you've been looking for Campbell's Tomato Soup lately and not finding it, you'll be glad to know your grocer has it now. Better ask him for it and take home several cans. Then at supper, ladle out bright, steaming plates full and see how eagerly the family welcome back this favorite soup. For Campbell's Tomato Soup, you know, is the favorite of most people. The soup most folks request. It's so velvet smooth and delicious, so filled all through with the luscious flavor of the world's finest tomatoes, gently seasoned and carefully blended with golden table butter. Good. And now that the new pack's in, you'll find Campbell's Tomato Soup just as good as you've always remembered it, and just as big a help when it comes to serving the kind of meals your family likes. So how about picking up a couple of cans the next time you're at the grocer's? Campbell's Soup on your shelf is like a part-time cook in your kitchen.
This is Diana Lynn. Our next request is postmarked Cleveland Heights, Ohio. Dear Campbell's Soups, Hollywood. Every October when the smell of burning leaves fills the air, I feel blue because I know that a lot of young people are going back to college. I never had a chance to go. I wonder if you could send me some of the fun of campus life. Sincerely, Esther Taft. Well, we can't crowd 4 whole years of fun into a few minutes, but we can send you a sample. Starting right now, Miss Taft, you're enrolled at State University.
Good afternoon, girls. I'm the Dean of Women. Any questions?
Frank Morgan, you, the Dean of Women?
Yes.
What are you thinking of?
You'd be surprised. Any other questions?
Yes. We girls would like to ask you about this year's courses.
Courses. Tight curriculum. I'm in favor of the classical subjects, Latin, history, mathematics.
How do you feel about biology?
Well, if it was good enough for my father, it's good enough for me. When I was studying for my master's at Harvard, I introduced the famous Morgan method of academic perseverance.
You did?
Yes. I applied the vibrations of the cerebral cortex, augmented the frequency of the brain waves by periods of intense concentration, and induced an auspicious contretemps of the hydromatic drive.
What does that mean?
I cheated like mad. Now, girls, as Dean of Women, I can safely state that I've probably educated more girls than any man in the country. I don't like the way that came out. I like to think of myself as the engineer on the great train of education. And I want you students to think of yourselves as cars on this academic super chief. In other words, there will be no deviation from the straight track of true knowledge as long as Professor Morgan is at the bottle. Throttle!
One of the nicest things about college life is the comradeship it brings. The girls in the dormitory, my roommates, will be dear to me always. But one golden day on the campus, quite by accident, I met my one particular chum. It was rather silly the way we struck up our friendship. I remember I said, "Gee, what a wonderful wave you have in your hair. How did you get it that way?"
Oh, I just run a comb through it and let it fall where it may.
Really? Well, perhaps I ought to introduce myself. I'm Diana Lynn, 49.
I'm Rudy Valley, a little younger.
Golly, you must be an upperclassman. Are you a senior?
At least. Actually, I come back to the campus only to renew those few cherished friendships. Men like my old Spanish professor, Axel Lindquist. Ah, there's Sender Lindquist now. Hi, senor, ¿cómo está usted?
Well, yes, it's good to see you.
Ay, tengo mucho gusto en conocer. I'll never forget those wonderful hours in your classroom.
Yeah, sure, and I'll never forget you. Through all the years, you was my favorite pupil.
Muchas gracias, senor.
Well, I'm just rushing off to class. Good luck, Jameson.
Jameson? But
Hasta la vista.
Fine thing, fine thing. Well, I know one person in this campus who'll be glad to see me. Good old Dean Morgan.
Come in, my dear. Oh, dear.
Well, Dean Morgan, how's tricks?
Well, we've got some pretty cute tricks from this. Oh, no.
I suppose all of you in the faculty have been following my career since I left. Yes.
Your career? Yes. No. Yes. I can't place you completely right at the moment.
Oh, well, here's a little hint. Hi-ho, everybody.
Oh. Who came in?
Oh, no, wait. My time is your time.
Well, I won't take up much of it. I'm pretty busy.
Look here. I'm Valley. The Valley.
Oh, San Fernando or death?
Well, Dean, it certainly was nice to have this little get-together again.
Yes, well, good luck, Jameson.
There are quiet good times at college, too. Like those wonderful twilight things down in the hollow by Mirror Lake.
To the tables down at Maury's, to the place where Louis dwells, to the dear old Temple Bar we love so well. Sing the whiffin'-poofs assemble with their glasses raised on high, and the magic of their singing cast its spell. Yes, the magic of their singing, of the songs we love so well. Shall I waste him and Mavournin and the rest? We will serenade our Louis while life and boy shall last. Then we'll pass and be forgotten with the rest. We're a poor little land who have lost our way. Ba, ba, ba. We're little black sheep who have gone astray. Ba, ba, ba.
from here to eternity. God, have mercy on such as
Before you know it, Miss Taft, it's all over. The 4 years go by like a breeze. And at last you're listening to the dean again and waiting for that treasured diploma.
Students! It has been 4 years since you were delivered into my care. I hope we've taught you something. I know I've learned plenty. And before I send you out into the world, may I borrow from the famous Latin poet Ovid, who said, Quae fuit durum pati meninisi dulce est. Translation, I'm pooped.
Hi, my name's Jimmy Lydon. Maybe you've seen me in the movies as Henry Aldrich. It gives me a big kick to take care of this next request because the girl it's addressed to was just another one of Henry Aldrich's girlfriends over at Paramount a few years ago. Now she's a big star. I saw her just a couple of nights ago in her new picture, Duffy's Tavern. The letter is from Sue Richardson, Lake Street, North Girard, Pennsylvania. She wants to hear Chopin's Minute Waltz played by Diana Lynn. Miss Richardson would like to find out for herself if it can really be played in a minute. Well, take your watches out, everybody. Diana's the girl who can do it. Ready, Diana?
Ready, Jimmy.
Okay. Time. Sorry, Diana, you were 12 seconds over by the request performance clock. Chopin won again.
Dear Mr. Del Charbot, you talk about how wonderful Campbell's tomato soup is, and my family keeps requesting it, but I haven't always been able to find it at my grocer's. Signed, Worried.
Well, dear Worried, you can stop worrying right now. You'll be mighty glad to know that once again your grocer has Campbell's tomato soup, ready to make your meals taste extra good. The new pack is in, and it's made from this summer's finest tomatoes, specially grown from special seed for healthful goodness as well as for extra luscious flavor. They're picked at their prime when the flavor's at its best and expertly blended with fine table butter into a smooth puree.
Good. Campbell's tomato soup is a favorite at our house. We use lots of it for family suppers, and I often fix it as cream of tomato for the youngsters' lunch. It's wonderful to know I can get it again.
Yes, ladies, you'll all want to look for Campbell's tomato soup at your grocer's now that the new pack is in. It's a big help in serving good-tasting and healthful meals. Campbell's soup on your shelf is like a part-time cook in your kitchen.
This is Frank Morgan again. The next few minutes are dedicated to a man, a boy, and a river. The river is the Mississippi. The man, Mark Twain. The boy, Hucklebery Finn. This is an answer to a request from Mrs. William Jaycox of Chicago. Rudy Valley, the Dream Boy. Jimmy Lydon, the movie's Henry Aldrich. And a certain character from MGM's Technicolor musical, Yolanda and the Thief, plug, are going to team up for a scene or two from Mark Twain's Mississippi classic, Hucklebery Finn.
Did you ever float down the Mississippi River on a raft? Other places seem kind of cramped up and smothery, but a raft don't. You feel mighty free and easy and comfortable on a raft. Jim and me was both runaways. He was running away from his missy who wanted to sell him to a slave trader, and I was running away because, well, if you'd knowed my past, you'd know why.
You sleep, Huck?
Oh, just looking at the stars.
Do you allow they was made or just happened?
Oh, I allow they happened. Would have took too long to make so many.
The moon could have laid it.
Look, a falling star.
I allowed that and got spoiled and was hove out of the nest. Listen.
Tom.
I reckon somebody's getting chased over there on Arkansas Bank.
Hello! Help! Save us! Rack! Save us!
What do you allow we better do, Huck?
Well, they're probably runaways like us. We better help them. Grab the steering oar, Jim, and we'll make for the shore. There was two of them, and we hauled them on the raft just before the dogs got to them.
Thank you. Thank you, my friends, for saving us from a fate worse than death.
Yes, thank you from a full and humble heart.
Oh, it weren't nothing.
Say, what got you in trouble, partner?
Are you addressing me, sir?
And don't you two know each other?
We were driven into partnership by circumstances and hound dogs.
Alas, alackaday, woe is me.
What are you alassin, alackin, and woeing for?
To think that I should be degraded into such company.
Huh? What's wrong with the company? Not good enough for you?
I'm not blaming you, gentlemen. I brought myself down. I'm not complaining.
Brought yourself down? From where? Where were you?
Ah, you would not believe me. The world never believed. Let it pass, is no matter. The secret of my birth shall remain locked.
The secret of your birth?
Gentlemen, by right, I'm a duke.
A duke? Right here on this raft, a sure enough duke?
Yes, you see before you the rightful Duke of Bridgewater. Forlorn, torn from my high estate, degraded to floating down the river on a raft.
Oh, don't take on so hard.
Ah, there's no comfort for me, except one thing. It would do me more good than anything to be called once again by my rightful title, Your Grace, or my Lord, or Your Lordship.
Oh, that ain't no trouble, Your Grace.
Mighty happy to oblige, my lordship.
And, of course, you may wait on me at all times and bow.
Poor fella.
Look here, Bilgewater. I'm indeed sorry for you, but you aren't the only one who's been snaked out of a high place. I have been wronged. Wronged, I tell you.
What do you mean?
Can I confide in you my deepest secret?
What are you blubbering for?
Bilgewater, gentlemen, I am the late Dauphin.
The late what?
Just what I said. My friends, it's too true. Your eyes are gazing at this very moment at the poor, disappeared Dauphin, Louis the 17th, son of Louis the 16th, and Marie Antoinette.
Where's all of they?
Gentlemen, you see before you the suffering, rightful King of France. Oh, misery, misery.
Oh, don't carry on so, Mr. Dauphin.
It's no use, no use. Don't try to comfort me. Except a few things might make me feel a little better for a while.
Such as what?
Well, like folks getting down on one knee to speak to me.
Rot.
And like calling me Your Majesty.
More rot.
and waiting on me first at meals, and not sitting down in my presence till I ask you.
We don't mind majesting you, your majesty.
Don't make no never mind to us, your majesty. Which knee do you bend on?
You won't find me bending on my knee. Now, look here, Bilgewater. This isn't a bad thing we struck here. A nice raft, plenty of grub, and an easy life. Come, give us your hand, Duke, and let's all be friends.
Can you show me any profit in it?
Profit? Of course, the King of France can show you some profit. Have you ever trod the boards, Bilgewater?
I beg your pardon?
The boards, the stage, the theater.
You mean play acting?
With amazing forethought, my friends, I have stowed away in my carpet bag the gossamer costumes, the handsome Romeo and the beauteous Juliet. How does that strike you, Bilgewater?
If it pays, I'm for it.
Hey, the country jakes of the next village down the river will flock to see us perform. And since I am rehearsed in the role of Romeo, you, Bilgewater, will play lovely Juliet. Most beauteous, ravishing. I don't think so. I have it, Hamlet's soliloquy.
Hamlet's what?
The most celebrated thing in Shakespeare. Sublime, sublime. It always brings down the house. I don't have a copy of it with me, but I think I can piece it out from memory. Let me see. It begins, to be or not to be.
And sure enough, the next town we come to, the king hired himself a hall, and the duke sold tickets, and they put on a Shakespeare show.
Current, turn awry. But soft you, the fair Ophelia. Ope not thy ponderous and marble jaws, but get thee to a nunnery. Go!
Say, King. King, that was a pretty fair start for the show.
Bilgewater, how much money did we take in?
$47, Your Majesty.
Bless you, Bilgewater. Where's my hat?
But you only gave them 3 minutes of show. What are you going to do next?
There will now be a rather long intermission. Give me the money, Duke. We're heading for the raft.
Their majesties and us just got out of that town in time. Back on the raft that night, Jim gave the Duke his blanket, and I just let His Majesty snow himself to sleep on my corn husk mattress. Long about midnight, Jim sort of pokes me.
You sleep, Huck?
No, just lying here looking at the stars.
What you thinking about?
Oh, about kings and dukes.
You reckon we going to run into any more kings on this trip, Huck?
Well, they ain't kings, Jim. They just frauds and humbugs.
I know that, Huck. But I didn't know if you knowed it.
Well, sure, Jim. But the way I figures it, it's better they act high and mighty here on a little old raft. It's a whale of a lot better than spreading their high and mighty out over the whole world.
You was talking powerful sense. Powerful sense.
You've been listening to Request Performance. The stars who performed your request tonight were
Frank Morgan, Rudy Valley,
Diana Lynn,
Hoagie Carmichael,
Jimmy Lydon,
your composer-conductor, Leith Stevens,
your director, William N. Robeson.
Each week, the makers of Campbell's Soup bring you 2 great radio shows. The Jack Carson Show on Wednesday night and Request Performance on Sunday night. Next week, Request Performance brings you a completely new and different cast, including Orson Welles, Eddie Bracken, Johnny Mercer, and Virginia O'Brien. Address your request to Campbell Soup's Hollywood. And tune in Request Performance next Sunday when we bring you...
Stars, stars, stars. Don't let anybody say you missed them. This is CBS, the Columbia Broadcasting System.
Hey. The program is rebroadcast by the Armed Forces Radio Service to our fighting men overseas. Goodyear presents The Roy Rogers Show. The greatest name in rubber, Goodyear, invites you to meet America's greatest Western star, Roy Rogers.
There's nothing like the morning feeling precious that do when you're going where there's taters to behold. The cows are in the meadow and they give me the mood as I go singing down the road. My little dog is tagging right along at my heels. He's so happy that he's hopping like a toad. His little tail is wagging 'cause he knows how I feel as I go singing down the road. The sun is grand, my face is tanned, and I'm so carefree and gay. And as I hike, I feel just like a school kid for a day. And when my day is over, there's a girl unto me, you see, but that's another episode. My heart and I are stacking up our dreams kinda neat as I go singing down the road. My day is over, there's a girl unto me, you see, but that's another episode. My heart and I are stacking up our dreams kinda neat as I go singing, singing down the road. Well, howdy, folks, and thanks for dropping in on our Goodyear party here at the ranch. We're all going to do our best to show you a real fine time. Guess you already know some of the folks here. Little Pat Friday from next door, Bob Nolan and the Sons of the Pioneers, and Perry Batkin and the Ranch Orchestra. So tonight we have another special guest that you'll meet a little later on. I kind of want to keep...
Excuse me, Roy, but there's something...
hello, Patricia. Having a good time?
Oh, wonderful time, Roy, but I'm very curious about...
Daddy, I want to be a cowboy so I can wear those funny pants like Roy Rogers.
There, did you hear that?
Yeah, but it seems like I did.
Hey, Rog, what's going on around this ranch?
What do you mean, Bob?
Well, I keep hearing voices and the people they belong to ain't here.
Oh, George, have you seen Roy Rogers' horse, Trigger? He has the cutest little nose. On the end, it feels just like swan soap.
Now, see, who said that?
I don't believe it.
Well, his nose does sort of feel like soap.
Roy Rogers, you're up to something. Now, what kind of a trick is this?
Well, I don't know what you mean by a trick, Patricia. I've got nothing up my sleeves and nothing in my pockets.
Hey, what I want to know is who said that stuff that was said a second ago by somebody that said that stuff? Who done it? Which way did they go?
Well, they went that... Well, I guess it is sort of puzzling, isn't it, Perry? Maybe we'll solve the mystery a little later on, though. In the meantime, let you and Pat and I step back in the crowd while Deuce Spriggan starts the Pioneers off with his bass fiddle on a tune called Simmer On, Roll On.
Simmer on, roll on.
Well, thank you, pioneers. That was really swell. Folks, these days you need the help of a special kind of manpower to help out with your horsepower. You know, if you're wondering what I'm talking about, Vern Smith here will explain.
Well, it's just this. To keep the horsepower in your car working, to keep your car rolling, you should get the assistance of that tire specialist in your community, the Goodyear dealer. You know, it's been true every year for the last 30 years that more people ride on Goodyear tires than on any other kind. And it's also true more people depend on Goodyear tire dealers for tire service than on any other dealers. And right now, when new tires are so hard to get, when your present tires must last a long time, cash in on Goodyear dealer experience. Make the Goodyear dealer station your tire service headquarters. Yes, rely on him for all tire service. He'll see that your tires are properly inflated. He'll check them for danger signs that mean time to recap. And when it comes time for recapping, be sure you have it done the Goodyear way, with Goodyear materials by a Goodyear-trained recap specialist. Yes, for expert tire service, rely on the man who's backed up by the greatest name in rubber, Goodyear.
About this time, Patricia, I think the folks here at the party would like to have a song from you. How about it?
Well, I think it could be arranged, Roy.
I wish my daddy was here to listen to Miss Friday sing. He told me he had an ear for music, but he was fibbing. I blew in both his ears last night, and they didn't play a note.
Where did that come from?
Oh, don't let it worry you, Pat. Let's have your song, huh? Folks, Miss Pat Friday singing Sleigh Ride in July.
Sleigh ride in July. Oh, I must have been set up for a sigh. A mockingbird was whistling a sentimental tune. Didn't know enough to come in out of the moonlight. So the big romance was only make-believe. Just a sleigh ride on a balmy summer eve. My dreams were safe all winter, and then to think that I was taken for a sleigh ride in My dreams were safe all winter, and then to think that I was taken for a
Friday, that was a lovely song. You must come over to the house and meet George. That's my husband. On second thought, you're awfully cute, Miss Friday. Let's just you and I have lunch together.
Roy, I think we'd better have an explanation.
Yeah, I guess so, Pat. Folks, these mighty familiar voices you've been hearing have been coming from the young lady who's our special guest here at the ranch tonight. She's a very popular radio actress down around Hollywood and one of the cleverest imitators of famous people you ever heard. I'd like you all to meet her. Folks, Miss Sarah Berner.
Thank you very much.
Sarah, we'd sort of like to know how you learned to imitate people's voices the way you do.
Well, I guess I just picked it up little by little. When I was a child, I can remember I collected quite a few spankings for imitating people who came to our house to visit. It probably started with just plain meanness.
You know, I'm pretty sure that our guest here at the ranch tonight would love to hear you do some more of your imitations. How about it, huh?
All right, Roy. Suppose we put Baby Snooks, Gracie Allen, and Judy Canova in the living room together. We might hear a conversation like this.
Gracie, I have a daddy. Do you have a daddy?
Oh, why, of course, Snooks. George is my daddy.
Oh, don't go getting the kid all mixed up, Gracie. George is your husband.
Oh, Miss Canova, George is my sugar daddy as well as my husband. Don't you understand?
Does he get paid for overtime? I think that's real romantic. My auntie and my uncle got married. It was so sweet. Daddy said with auntie and uncle it was a real garden romance. He was a deadbeat and she was an old tomato. Well, I know a thing or two about romance. Before a girl gets married, she thinks the way to a man's heart is through his stomach. After she's married, she goes through his pockets. And then there's always the youngsters. Up in the hills one day, a feller came across a little kid playing in the mud, and he says, "Little feller, how come you're so blame dirty?" And the little kid says, "I'm waiting for the big party next week." Once a year, the squire takes all the kids on the train down to the city to go swimming in the river. The feller says, "That still don't explain how you got so dirty." And the little kid replied, "Last year I missed the train."
Oh, gee, that was swell, Miss Berner, and thanks a lot.
See them tumbling down.
The tumbling tumbleweeds set the scene for another page in the great story of the West. The guests at the old ranch house gather around as Roy Rogers tells of a corner of this great western land. Drop into one of the easy chairs yourself and listen as our host brings you the color of the West.
Some of the brightest pages in the story of the West come from up in the northern states. The cowhands and the cattle of the West have roamed over a lot of territory, but some of the finest of all the riders have come from up in the hills of old Wyoming. Up there in the purple shadows of the Rockies are men and women who have had a lot to do with the growth of our land out here. They wear their hats a little different than the folks down Texas way. They say rodeo up there, while a lot of the folks down along the border say rodeo. But those Wyoming riders sit just as straight in the saddle as the cowhands who follow the trails of the desert. Someday soon, maybe we can all travel around this old West again. Then we can drop in on our friends up there in Wyoming and tell them we think they've got a mighty fine state. In the meantime, though, we'll just have to say it with a song. So here are Bob Nolan and the Sons of the Pioneers to sing In the Hills of Old Wyoming.
Let me ride on a trail in the hills of old Wyoming, where the coyotes wail in the gloaming, for it's there that my heart ceiling till the wind's lullaby comes stealing from the hills where my heart's at home. Wake with the song, wake with the sun. Saddle to men, cattle to tend, plenty to be done. Let me live on the range, where a man has room to roam in and to dream of his love in the glowing, in the hills of old Wyoming. In the hills of old
Oh, I like that.
My, I'll have to get George to introduce me to some of these cowboys.
Say, Gracie, Snooks, gosh, with Sarah Berner doing all her imitations here tonight, I don't know who I'm talking to.
Raleigh, it doesn't matter, Roy. Raleigh, it doesn't.
Now she's got me thinking I'm talking to Katharine Hepburn.
Raleigh, you could be talking to Katharine Hepburn, couldn't you, Roy?
Well, I guess so.
And if you were talking to Katharine, she would say, "Oh, Mr. Rogers, I'd love to hear you sing a song. Raleigh, I would."
Well, Sarah, I don't know whether she would or not. I don't know what Miss Hepburn thinks of my singing.
Well, let's not worry about her then, Roy. I'd like to hear you sing a song for us, and I'm sure everyone else at the party would like it, too.
Well, now you sound like Sarah Berner again. And if you'd like a song, Sarah, I'd be glad to sing it for you.
Well.
Here's the king of the cowboys singing the great hit he introduced to the country in Hollywood Canteen. It's Don't Fence Me In.
Wildcat Willie, looking mighty pale, was standing by the sheriff's side. And when that sheriff said, "I'm sending you to jail," Wildcat raised his head and cried, "Oh, give me land, lots of land under starry skies above. Don't fence me in. Let me ride through the wide open country that I love. Don't fence me in. Let me be by myself in the evening breeze and listen to the murmur of the cottonwood trees. Send me off forever, but I ask you please, don't fence me in. Just turn me loose, let me straddle my old saddle underneath the western sky. On my cayuse, let me wander over yonder till I see the mountains rise. I want to ride to the ridge where the west commences and gaze at the moon till I lose my senses. I can't look at hobbles and I can't stand fences. Don't fence me in. Just turn me loose, let me straddle my old saddle underneath the western sky. On my cayuse, let me wander over yonder till I see the mountains rise. I want to ride to the ridge where the west commences and gaze at the moon till I lose my senses. I can't look at hobbles and I can't stand fences. Don't fence me in. All that I can say is, come on, Trigger, let's be on our way.
For real motoring safety, 2 are fine, 3 are better, and 4 are best of all. Yes, you're playing it just as safe as you can when your car has all 4 of the great safety factors of American motoring. Safety glass, the all-steel top, 4-wheel brakes, and Goodyear lifeguards. Lifeguards are mighty important because with lifeguards on your car, you insure yourself and your family from the disaster, the often fatal disaster, that can be so quickly caused by blowouts or other sudden tire failure. The lifeguard, you see, replaces the conventional inner tube. It's an inner tire, a 2-ply safety tire within a tube. And even if your tire and tube blow out, that inner lifeguard remains inflated, supporting your car so that you can keep it under control and bring it to a safe, sure stop. Because of wartime emergencies, Goodyear is not at the moment producing lifeguards, but Goodyear has hopes of getting into production sometime soon, so that those of you who haven't the additional protection of lifeguards can get them. Until then, keep in mind that there's one device that makes any blowout harmless: the lifeguard, Goodyear's safety successor to the inner tube.
Folks, we've got something that you don't hear very often around here right now. You know that the Farr brothers play the hottest fiddle and guitar around these western parts, but probably you never heard them do any of their real old-fashioned dance music. Well, right now they're going to give us an old tune called Honeysuckle Schottish. And I know you're going to like it because they really do a swell job. So, Hugh and Carl, take over, will you? What is it, Perry?
Oh, Roy, you know they're having another dance in town this week, and I was wondering if you...
Perry, you asked me that last week, and the answer is still no. You can't borrow Trigger to go to the dance.
Oh, but Roy, Trigger's such a beautiful horse, and I'd sure like to take him.
I can't help it, Perry. Trigger told me he didn't want to go with you.
Well, did he say why?
He sure did. He says when you dance, you step on his feet.
Oh, Roy, let me ride Trigger just this once.
Well, all right, but you've got to use your own saddle.
Well, what for?
Because when you sit in my saddle, your hip pockets would be where the stirrups ought to be. Say, Perry, why don't you start polishing up your dancing boots while the Sons of the Pioneers and I sing another song for the folks?
Here's Roy Rogers with Bob Nolan and the Sons of the Pioneers singing Trail Herdin' Cowboy.
Healy-ay, healy-o, healy-ay-o.
Trail herding cowboy, hop on your pony, singing ho.
Healy-ay, healy-o,
start riding now, boy, we'll make San Antonio singing ho.
Hilly-o, long merry days and a dusty road to travel, but we'll make the boss pay for all his battle driving cattle.
Light-hearted, carefree, trail herding cowboy singing ho.
Hilly-o,
keep moving, doggies, time is a-wasting singing ho.
Hilly-o,
I'm not impatient, but why don't you hasten singing ho?
Hilly-o, you ought to know that a certain someone's waiting. You ought to know that to captivate and confiscating,
arms will enfold his trail herding cowboy singing ho.
Hilly-o,
one little doggie straight from his mother singing ho.
Hilly-o,
trail herding cowboy, there goes another singing ho.
Hilly-o, follow the doggies through endless days of sunshine. When this drive is over, we'll take our fun time all at one time.
Makes me a happy trail herding cowboy singing ho.
Hilly-o, roll
Well, folks, that sort of shuts the door on another Goodyear party out here at the old ranch. Next week at the same time, we hope you'll all be coming up the driveway for another party, because we'll sure be waiting with a big welcome. All of the gang will be here, Bob Nolan and the Sons of the Pioneers, Miss Pat Friday, Perry Bodkin and the Ranch Orchestra. So till then, this is Roy Rogers saying, for the whole gang, goodbye, good luck, and may the good Lord take a liking to you. Don't forget, smiles are made out of the sunshine, and a frown from a rainy day. You'll be more than repaid if you remember that a smile goes a long, long way. When trouble troubles you, just turn on the sun and watch how fast your cares and worries starting to run. Don't forget, smiles are made out of the sunshine, and the smile goes a long, long way.
Roy Rogers and Bob Nolan and the Sons of the Pioneers appeared through the courtesy of Republic Pictures. This is Vern Smith saying good night for Goodyear, the greatest name in rubber, and reminding you that more people ride on Goodyear tires than on any other kind. Be with us next Tuesday, same time, same station, when Goodyear will bring you another get-together at the ranch with Roy Rogers, the king of the cowboys. This is Mutual.